me.
It's clobbering time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo!
Yeah, greetings, clobberers, clobberettes, clobberanimos, clobberusies, clobberoids, and everyone else out there. The secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Ooh, I talked over your we. I'm sorry. You can redo it.
We
again.
I thought you were gonna go. The secret is to, and then I was gonna go.
We will not unsee. That's why you don't get rehearsals here, folks. Things just happen.
Yeah, we got to rehearse that.
Really, Captain?
Oh, that's too boring.
My mind reading abilities are not what they once were. Well, it would mean learning how to read. So, I can read in crayon. Basically, it's about it. Clobberanimo, indeed. I love when. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now say it again.
I'm just happy that you don't eat your crayons.
I don't. I mean, I don't. No, I don't.
No,
They aren't very tasty.
Don't eat your crayons. You can snap your crayons, but do not eat your crayons.
Well, now you tell me. Hello, my friends. Welcome here to Clobbering Times, Clobby's Clubhouse. It is Clobbering Times, issue number 581 on YouTube. 1,281 over all the next 14 years. And this is, of course, Clobby's Clubhouse number IE3. IE3, and of course, happy birthday to one of the greatest space sagas all before it got destroyed. Star Wars, 46 years today, 40 years for Return of the Jedi. And this past Sunday, that would be 43 years for my favorite movie ever, The Empire Strikes Back. So this is the true Star Wars day right here, folks.
Yep, real Star Wars day.
Star Wars.
With no bloody
Wars, yeah.
part 4, part 5, part 6.
Yes.
No
freaking. I don't mind the subtitles that much, I guess, but yeah, it's just I don't even like saying A New Hope, to be honest. Just like Star Wars, and when you need to, to identify as Star Wars, 77. But yes, so real deal Star Wars. Happy birthday.
And Mark, you have to be more emphatic. You're our chief engineer. You have to be like, no bloody 4, no bloody 5, no bloody 6, no bloody prequels.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Yes.
For sure.
Nice. Hello, my friends. Let's say before we do our show notes and shout outs, let me turn it over to my wonderful first officer, the one most greatest first officer in the fleet, and see if she has any opening words for the clubhouse. Number one, take it away.
Thank you so much. I love you very much. And I'm going to use this time. I'm going to use this time wisely by thanking this amazing chat. Welcome to Clobberin Times, Clobby's Clubhouse. Welcome to the channel. If you're new around here, please hit like and sub and feel free to join our community. You're going to have a blast. We talk about everything here, everything nerd, everything geek, and we have the best conversations. Entirely too. The wonderful conversationalists, the people who show up here to talk about all of this stuff, to talk about pop culture, to talk about all the stuff we love. And man, do they ever put on a good show. They have us laughing so hard some nights we cry. So welcome, hail to that marvelous chat that we love and appreciate so much. I also want to say, hail to all of the wrenches. Thank you so much for being here and just making our community the very best it can be. I also want to shout out to my Patreon subs. It's a little selfish, but it's my only chance to plug some really kind people who are backing my new book. Obviously, Clobby backs my book because, he's the person who said, I'm putting it on the show. You're going to advertise on my show. I'm going to get people to buy your book. So first I have to thank Clobby because that whole thing was his idea. And that's why I made that cute little commercial because he asked me to, because he's the greatest human being ever. But I also want to thank
human.
Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, pew, 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 the great Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K and Kirby. Please send, all your love to Eric K. He's not feeling well and he could sure use it. Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, that guy damn it, Mark, D with a C. We know him. We love him. He's our chief engineer, and he's also backing my book, as well as Jill, Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth. So thank you for that. I hope to have that new book done and dusted and out on in December of this year. Cross your fingers. I'm working hard on it.
Don't dust on your books. You got to, come on. Dust
I know,
everything.
you got to keep them clean. But if you want to read them before then, just go over to my Patreon and you can read them on my Patreon. And other than that, I'm going to give the floor away because I've talked long enough. I just want to say that how much I love Mark D with the C. He's such a cool cat. It's great to share a panel with him. And of course, I want to doff my cap and maybe do a cute little curtsy to my captain, even though it's completely inappropriate. I love you. Let's do it.
Love you. And hey, you're the best. Tell her you're the greatest first officer ever. And we have the greatest chief engineer officer as well. So, chief engineer, any words?
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, it's awesome to be here. Glad to hang out with you tonight. And Raquel, you always make me blush. Clobberin Times always joke, who's she talking about when she's giving us all these compliments? So, right back at you. Dittos is one of my favorite broadcasters used to say.
Yes.
And I usually don't try to promote things too much, although I get shin kicks from Raquel if I don't. But I guess YouTube changed their monetization now. So
why?
If
What's
you
going
have
on?
Really?
Well, no, it says I just went to my, I check out my, channel page, and
Right.
it says you can I have 700 subs. Thanks to everyone. So it says eligibility 500 subs,
Okay.
3 video uploads, and 3,000 watch hours in the last year.
Okay.
So I'm 30 watch hours short, I guess, from being able to do super chats and membership. So
Okay, so let's do a party.
yeah, so if everyone just opens up a playlist in another tab and plays it in a playlist, I should
that's
hit
what's
that.
required.
I think, yeah, if everyone just watches,
Well, we could do a little show where we could just do like a countdown to 30 too.
Yeah, but or if everyone just, if you feel like it, no obligation, keep listening to the show.
Go watch his stuff.
open a new tab on your browser of choice and just click a Sunday Night Geekery tab or something and play with the volume. I gotta guess if you play with the volume off. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but yeah, that way I'm just 30
But you don't
hours.
have to, because his
Yeah.
content is actually really good. So if you're planning on a road trip, or or you drive, you have to commute into work or whatever, it would be really cool if you could use that time to give Mark his final hours, because he is an incredibly kind and sweet and sincere person,
Do what you
and he's
gotta do,
also
yeah.
smart and funny and super talented. And I do give
What are you
him shin
talking about,
kicks
Steve?
because
Yeah.
he never promotes his stuff. And you guys, he's actually a really good maker. And I don't just mean that he 3D prints crap, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. He makes beautiful things, and then he renders them artistically in such a polished and beautiful way. He deserves you to sub him. Like you deserve it too, because you deserve high quality entertainment. So get your butts over to Patreon, and if you're commuting or going on a road trip or whatever have you, please tune in. Let's get him to his last 30 hours.
Put your link
Thank
in.
you.
All right. Now for some show notes and shout outs, my friends, before we get commenced. Let's see here. Yeah, I want to thank, of course, again, just another big shout out to the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic for hanging out with me Monday night. I had a terrific time, and he is just too kind to give of his time to do that. And it was a lot of fun. And thank you, everyone who came out to hang out with us. Really, really appreciate that. Also, a thank you to all my members who showed up at the member stream Tuesday night. Thank you for that. And thank you for everyone who showed up at last night's Wildcard Wednesday night. That was also a great deal of fun. Just having too much fun here. I really appreciate you all so much. Tomorrow night, let's see here. I should be hanging out with Nick and the boys on Nick's Comic Shop Talk on Friday. It's Friday Night Comic Shop Talk at 8:30 Central. We have a lot of time. We review comics. We just talk basic comics with Nick and his boys. So it's a lot of fun, and these young fellers are really cool to hang out with. So thank you for all who've been going over there. I made that little thing so I could show. I'm tired of not having something to show what we do on
That is a
little bit of Friday
beautiful
night fun.
poster.
Thank you. It's pretty amateur, but
No, it's pretty
it'll do.
awesome.
not.
And just back off, Buster.
I'm the captain. If
We're
I
all
say
getting
it
shin
sucks,
kicks
it
tonight.
sucks. Yes. So let's see here. Anyway, there's that, and then of course Saturday Night Star Trek.
Dun, 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 dun.
As always, in our ongoing mission to review all of real Star Trek 66 through 05, the 735 Club, as dubbed by my wonderful first officer. We are now entering season 7 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine with 4 more episodes. That is 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel. Sorry. And then as Mark maybe or may not have mentioned, I should be hanging out with him as always on Sunday nights, the Geekery at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And then every Monday, I'm always busy these days, especially on Mondays on my good buddy J-Man's channel. We're reviewing all of the Legion of Superheroes in chronological order, their appearances, that is, through the Silver and Bronze Age, 58 through 89, because nothing else with the Legion matters. And we're doing it in order, so we have 3 comics to review. The great J-Man and our good buddy Decepticon and I will have, and we're just having so much fun doing it. I love reviewing comics. And then later that night on my channel, I will have a comic book review. 2 comics. I'll review one. It'll be the Marvel feature number 1, the first appearance of the event of the Defenders, and then I will a secret one, a surprise comic review. I will do after that. So who knows what it could be there? Yeah. And I promise, before August, Clobby's top 25 favorite comic book stories will happen. No one cares but me, but I've made the commitment to do it, and I will do it.
It's going to be tough.
That, I sure hope I keep the word on that one.
I would like to repeat that Chris Persia actually loves your show so much, and he loves your reviews and your lists so much, that he said that if you do have trouble whittling it down to 25, that he is willing to sit tight for 2,500. Your 2,500 favorite comic books. So everyone loves you. I know this is going to be hard, but you know what? It'll be worth it. And when we get on the other side of it, you're going to feel so happy you did it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough. Oh, by the way, I just put a link in the chat for Jason Sandberg's new comic book. Please, I think he still has some time left on that. The excellent artist, writer, and creator who has this book, Jupiter, that is on Indiegogo. There's a link in my chat for that, everyone. Please, if you have not taken a look at that, please do so. It's a very nice chat, and we had one many times. And now, for some shout-outs, because we like to shout you all out, our good friends who are nice enough to hang out in the chat, starting with our fantastic wrenches. Of course, there is the bronze wrencher. I don't know if Eric is here tonight or not, but we miss you, buddy. We wish you the best. We hope you're doing well, bronze wrencher Eric. Okay. We love you, man.
We do.
And feel better, Eric. Yep.
Feel better, brother. So let's see. And of course, there's the Vindicator Wrench of the North, the aforementioned great Chris Persia. Thank you, buddy.
And thank you for the beautiful show poster tonight, Chris. Beautiful work as usual. And thank you for using your social media to promote us. You're a pretty outstanding human being and a loyal and caring friend. And we appreciate you very much.
We appreciate you for sure, bud. Absolutely. And of course, the great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Can't wait to hang out with you again one of these days, buddy. Thanks for all you do. The great Lord Thoth, God of Wrenching, and along with the lovely Lady Thoth. Avon lives, and long live the Legion, buddy. My partner in crime on Earth, be fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire, the Wrench Without Fear, J-Man. Please put your channel in the chat if you would, J-Man. He just did an awesome stream celebrating Return of the Jedi's 40th anniversary just now. I was unable to be there, unfortunately, but I hope you had a great stream on that one, brother.
Yeah, I shared it this afternoon.
What a great friend of the channel he has been. He and Sean, you guys are amazing.
Yeah, he and Sean are just terrific. And don't forget, folks, that J-Man is an author. And, you know, where a lot of people are really struggling with this concept of only being able to buy books from corporations and corporations only publishing people who are already famous. Well, J-Man is a horror author. So if you like horror, please hop on over and go and support his books. His wife is also an award-winning poet. And so if you're one of those people who doesn't want the corporate stuff, you want to go back to the way that it was before, where you got to meet lots of different storytellers with lots of different ideas, please feel free to fold J-Man into your reading collection because he's an extraordinary guy and a great storyteller. So get on it.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Creator of the Club Oni, Hungry Boy. Thank you. Let's see here. Kal-El, the Super Wrench Supreme. Super Wrench, the real soup. That old, Maddie's daddy, Vilja de Vinchmionia, and Thor in Vegas. That old rascal Fanty outside A. Our own music meister, the great Max Redstone.
Maximum Redstone.
I hope you're doing well out there, Max, if you're out there listening, brother. And let's see. Now I'm going to go back to the chat and shout out our friends who were here in the chat hanging out with us tonight, because that's the way we roll up and Hill. That's the way we do it up at the Clobbers. And I want, you know who popped in the other night? And it's still showing up there, so I'll put it. Our newest member, Dr. Hercule Monkey.
Hey, we haven't heard from him in forever. Hope he's doing well.
It's been forever.
We love you, Dr. Hercule Monkey.
Yeah, buddy. So hope you're doing well out there, Doc. The Gwagnar, what's up, brother?
Gwagnar.
Yeah, it was cool hanging out with you at the member stream, buddy. I'm glad you showed up. It was so cool. Mr. Angel's here. What's up, Chef?
Evening, Chef.
Wait a minute.
What?
Hi, at Mr. Angel, and yes.
Who's that?
I didn't write that.
I didn't write that.
Clobbering Times. You didn't write that, did you, Mark?
No.
Nope, didn't write anything. Nope.
Nope. I did not write that.
I'm not kidding. I did not write that.
Okay, well, we have to report that.
That is I'm gonna put some emojis in the chat right now. This is freaking me out, and see what it looks like.
I don't think I wrote anything.
And the person used an ampersand. That's unusual.
Unless I hit something on my keyboard, I was actually
did you
downloading I was downloading some pictures to show for the slideshow later, but a special feature.
Okay.
Unless I clicked something.
Maybe were you answering Mr. Angel on anything?
Yeah, by typing in my YouTube window, not in that window.
Oh, weird.
Did you say something to him? It's fine.
A while ago. Oh no, a while ago I did. I said I think I said hello or something. Yeah.
Hi at Mr. Angel, and yes. Was that you? I just want to make sure because I'm creeping me out. I didn't
No,
write
I'm not
that.
sure. No,
Yeah.
I don't think.
If it's
I'm sure.
not you, we have to report it because I definitely
I don't
It looks
know,
the
maybe
same
I
as
just-
my. It's my avatar. I
Yeah.
didn't write that.
Weird.
This is
What
crazy.
time? At what time? What's the timestamp?
8:59.
So 9:59 for me. Yeah.
See it right there. Look, here it is. No, I mean, sorry. Here it is.
Oh,
Hi,
that's probably
atmosphere.
me. Oh, that's me. That's me.
Okay,
Yep.
how could?
That's,
Okay, that's
I
cool.
did that. Oh yeah, because I went into the wrong. I didn't have my YouTube window open before that.
It's
that's
perfectly
why.
fine. It's just freaking me out. Now I know we're good. I
Yeah,
don't
it
care.
scared me a bit. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Anyway, we're good now. Okay, let's
There's
continue.
only
Sorry,
one
everybody.
clobbering times. There's only one. There can
Look,
only be one.
just now that I know, because I was going to really be freaky.
Yeah.
Donnie Pearson, what's up, my friend?
Evening,
The-
Donnie.
Oh my goodness, the lovely Sherry. I love to see that pretty face. It's so good to
Aw.
see you, my dear.
Look at
Hey,
her
Sherry.
avatar. This woman
Beautiful.
just gets better looking every year.
She's so
Nice
beautiful.
to see you, sweetheart.
Love you, Sherry. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Who else is here up and here with us tonight? Michael Beacom. What is up, brother?
Evening, Michael and Cassandra.
All right.
Michael, you got to lean over and give Cassandra a little peck on the cheek just for all of us.
As a fellow man, dude, I'm telling you, you don't have to. But now that a woman's told you to, you have to. So you're gonna get in trouble. It's a lose. Yeah, you just gotta do it. Do it for your lady, so you don't get in trouble. Now that you've been told to by a woman, you got to, right? Just saying. Oh my goodness. Claude Salling, hello there.
Evening, Claude.
Good to see you. Don't worry, folks. I'm getting to. Got a stroll. This is scrolling. Princess Fiona.
Scrolling. Keep that crobby scrolling.
Look at the beautiful Princess Fiona. So good to see
Evening.
you, my dear.
Nice to see you, Your Royal
Thanks for
Highness.
being here.
Sending a curtsy your way.
And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of Ramba Beat when he plays the maracas. He goes chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
And Leslie, Scuba Pete, and Leslie.
And Leslie. Oh yes, of course, lovely Leslie. Love Leslie. By the way, before I continue, thank you anyone who lurks and is lurking. We really appreciate you, or anyone watching on a download or a rewatch, whatever you want to call it. Thank you. It is much appreciated. Oh, Michael Beacon with a super chat. Thank you so much for this. Star Wars. Its arrival split all sci-fi and film into before it and after it. Indeedishness, sir. Thank you so much. Hey, whatever cast. What's up, Wes? It's good to see you, man. The good old whatever cast. Please, if anyone could find the link to his channel, please put it in there. And then my friends, please go subscribe to Wes. He's a cool dude. And thank you for the super sticker, my friend. I appreciate that. And I hope you're doing well. Wes.
Lover of Star Trek, right? Yep.
He is a Star Trek fan, yes. Oh, my thing jumped on me.
And there was one more, boss.
What? No, it isn't.
Yep, there was one more. And
What?
it's just disappeared from the tab, and I don't know
I did
why.
it.
There
Well,
were
was
three.
Dr. Hurt. That was no. The other one was just Dr. Hercules. I already mentioned it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you got it. Lisa, lovely Lisa. Good to see you.
Lisa!
Hey. Mighty Orbots, what is up?
Evening.
Hey, good to see you. And our communications specialist, anti-derivative Jill. What's up, Jelly?
Evening, Jill.
Let's see. Sometimes it takes a while to get to the next one, folks. I'm sorry. I don't have any really good vamping music other than a bip. Snail Messiah.
Evening.
He hung out with us a little bit the other night on the member stream. Good
Oh,
to see you,
wow,
my
that's
friend.
great.
Absolutely. Could not be reached for further comment. Hey. Good to see you, my
treat
friend.
to hang out with you.
MMM is here. Monsters
Oh,
Maniac Mexico.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey there, Dave C.
Dave!
What up, Dave C? Master of the TDS. Hello. Welcome.
Good evening.
Indeed. Good to see you, bud. Let's see here. Well, we're getting to them, folks. I promise we're getting to the end. Takes a little second, that's all. Yeah, hang on. Let's see. I will get some scrolling music eventually, folks. I promise. Dad Man Walking. Hey, I hope you guys are safe out there on the. I hope you guys are safe out there on the road. I was for those who don't know, I was fortunate. I like that. That's good music. Keep it up. But I was fortunate enough to get to meet in person for the first time our wonderful friends, Mr. and Mrs. Dadman, and have dinner with them last night. They're on a big excursion, a trip, a voyage, a trek around the universe. And they popped through my area of the woods, and we got together and had some good food and hung out. And it was a delight.
So jealous of the food.
Food was good. Food was good. And dude, I hope you all did okay last night, and they're having a wonderful and safe trip. Mr. and Mrs. Dad, man. And it was great to meet you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for the funny walkie-talkie messages. I love them.
Let's see here. Oh, yes. Yes. The messages were fun. They enjoyed them as we knew they would. All right, let's see. Janet. Oh, my goodness, Janet.
Interplanet Janet. She's a galaxy girl.
I love that, but I can only do it like from the other. Damn it, Janet, I love you. What are you doing, Janet? I'm so happy to see you.
Hey, sweet lady.
I've got, by the way, please go to her channel and subscribe if anyone can get that link in there. She has a channel, and she streams a little bit every now and then. She and her beautiful sister. I caught them streaming one late night on the weekend, and it was lovely. And they're two, let's face it, two hotties that like to stream and geek stuff. I mean, what more does a geek want? So you and your sister, hey, shout out to both of you, Janet.
Did everybody from the 735 and all the Clobberonimos and Clobberooskis see that Janet put in the chat that she missed us all very much? So she's been away. Yeah, she's been away from YouTube for a while, or maybe Twitter, but she wanted everyone to know that she's missed us. So everyone should know that, and I just wanted to say that on air because, Janet is an old friend. I mean, she's not old. We've just known her for a while.
No, not old. But she is a dear friend, though.
Yes, dear friend. That's a good one. But she's not actually a dear either.
Yep. I don't know if this was from earlier or not, but thanks again, Wes, just in case I think it was from earlier. I just crossed it. Let's see. No, I didn't see that yet. I didn't get to it yet. So let's see. Bop. It takes forever to get to the, but we like doing the shout outs, folks, because it's the clubhouse.
Crap.
That's what it's for.
Crap.
We're just here to have fun tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's here to hang out. That's crap. Yep, that's what it's for. Hanging out and just hey, JT Kirk, what's up, brother?
JT Kirk.
He hung out with us the other night as well.
I love that human.
Don't call him a human.
He's a human.
He may not like to be called a human.
He's a marvelous human. JT Kirk, please wave hello to your family for us.
Indeed, sir. Good to see you. So I think that covers it. Anyone else who pops in, of course, as always, will be acknowledged accordingly. Yeah, it's just like Romper Room, Mighty. You got it, brother.
Boppity stompity romper room.
That's the vibe we're going for here. It's rompy roomy. So.
I see Billy and Bobby and Jody and Dave
and Ezra Goldstein. Shalom, Ezra Goldstein. Yes, indeediousness. Now you're getting it. So yes. Let's see, what do we got going on tonight? Oh, we got the usual for you. Wait, what is the hell is that?
Well, I'm trying. Let's see if it keeps working. I was trying to stream something I'm printing at work right now, and it just stopped.
I was highlighted for you.
To have a guess. No, that's all right. It's but now my it seemed like it froze up. Let's see here. I was trying to do something fancy dancy.
Princess Fiona, sorry.
Typical. Yep. Well, I was gonna have a guess of what it's gonna be. Hint: it's got something to do with Star Wars. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
I always try to turn my mic down because I have a huge microphone in front of me. I don't use the computer microphone, but then everyone always complains I'm not loud enough. So I just I select the YouTube studio, the StreamYard, to make me as loud as Mark and Clobby. Sorry.
You did good. Don't worry about it. Well, let's see here. Do you think our government is going to fake a space invasion? You mean they have it already? Oh man, I hope so. I mean, no, I don't know. They could though. Yeah, they'd really do a crappy job of it. I would guess though. I think it would be like it was about as convincing as when vows of fidelity were put into the French wedding service.
Hey, Matt G's here.
Matt G, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Matt.
That was a Blackadder joke. At least it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't for me. I promise. So, no. Yeah. Well, okay. I think we should take care of the first order of business tonight, right? Which is our reviews. Sure. And then we can talk some Star Wars or whatever, because it is a Star Wars, everything. But we got our usual review, so I suppose I will turn it over to our wonderful first officer. What do you think? Shall we get on with Tales of Tomorrow, which I still didn't watch?
Of Tomorrow,
which I did not get a chance to watch.
Clobby,
I told you I would catch up to you. I didn't say when.
I put it in the chat today too. Yeah,
I know you did. I meant to, but I fell asleep last night.
I need to shin kick you.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry.
Your agonizer, please.
Well, I mean, you should at least. I mean, I deserve it.
Your agonizer, please.
Yeah, even more so.
Your agonizer, please.
No, Mr. Spock.
Yeah, that hurt. All righty. So, for those who do not know, our wonderful first officer has introduced this show. Well, I'll let you tell what it's about. It's your show. So,
no, it's your show. It's just my segment.
I mean, Tales of Tomorrow is your show.
Yes. Well, that's a really good segue because I'm trying to inspire folks again to go away from corporate storytelling and go back to when we had these marvelous short storytellers, and then we had these marvelous people who worked in Hollywood to turn them into teleplays, and then we had this really high quality television, and thus we have Tales of Tomorrow. Now, Tales of Tomorrow is hosts some of the finest short storytelling in all of short storytelling history. Arthur C. Clarke got his start here. So it's a really, really special, wonderful show. It was broadcast in the 1950s, and now it's in the public domain. So we've been going through all of the episodes to give people in our community, all you nerds and geeks and dorks, an opportunity to connect with all this stuff that you really love, which is actual science fiction told by actual storytellers, not a team of corporate people who are, trying to get you to think a certain way. So with that, we've covered quite a few episodes. Mark, can I ask you, how many episodes have we covered so far?
I think at least 20, I'm going to guess, but I'll pull up 20? The spreadsheet.
Okay.
That's just a guess, but I shall pull up the spreadsheet. And
So we're trying to track them all down, okay? And what happened is that many of these episodes were actually captured by a device that recorded from the television or recorded from the film while the film was being broadcast. So some of the episodes, like Clobby always says, you can think of it like Doctor Who. I don't know anything about Doctor Who, but he always says, Doctor Who has lost episodes. So think about it like that. So every week is kind of an adventure as Mark and I try to find out whether or not the episode actually exists, if it's been improperly labeled, or if it was never saved. So it's actually kind of sad. So I think that's enough preamble. Let's get to the meat. This week's on Tales of Tomorrow, I covered the episode Red Dust. This is a season 1, episode 31 on the American IBD and IMDb, which obviously everyone knows, you can barely trust it because it's always wrong, but whatever. It was broadcast on May 2nd, 1952. It was written by a playwright by the name of Theodore R. Cogswell. So this was a play written by a playwright. And then this wonderful human being named Irving Elman came along and turned it into a teleplay. And because IMDb sucks so bad, I have to do a little summary myself, because a lot of times when you read the IMDb synopsis or summary, not only is it incorrect, but it almost turns into gibberish. So I take notes and I try to do a bit of a summary without revealing too much. So let's do it. A crew is returning from Alpha Centauri, humanity's first time leaving its solar system, the Milky Way. They had been studying various planets, landing on one which had an advanced society, an abandoned civilization. 2 men died on the expedition when they landed. The cause? A living organism living in the air, a red dust. The men who died failed to take radiation treatments as a precaution. As it turns out, the radiation, quote unquote, shots can slow the red dust organisms, but not stop them from killing everyone. The dust is now in the ship that they are taking back to Earth, and it's propagating. So they don't really describe how it propagates, but the dust keeps increasing, okay? The surviving crew negotiates the reality of it. And then I wrote in my notes very immaturely, but I can't help myself because I rarely find people in Hollywood attractive, but I sure liked Kurt. Kurt is cute. Lex Barker. He makes a wonderful astronaut. So the ladies out there, he's quite cute.
By the way, number one, he played Tarzan later.
Oh, actually, I think I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clubby, I think I knew that. Yeah, he's a cutie patootie, and he's a tall glass of water.
That's why, right?
Anyway, and one of the astronauts who's on this ship, he is trying to grapple with what's happening, and he actually throws himself out of the airlock. And before he throws himself out of the airlock, he says, like, we can't do this. We're going to kill everyone. And so everyone that's left, there are 3 men left, they realize that they can't deliver death to Earth. And so they have this full conversation about it. Now, you can tell that this was written by an actual writer, not just a teleplay person, because wow, what a treat the play would have been written by this playwright, Theodore R. Cogswell, because some great dialogue about morals and ethics and being a hero and sacrifice and how to approach self-deletion. They have an entire conversation about it. It's a heated conversation, and it's an adult conversation. There's nobody's pulling any punches here. This is 1952, and so they very politely explain to one another their predicament, and it's very raw, and it's very upsetting, and it's very truthful, and so it's very moving. The men wind up fighting quite violently, fisticuffs, over whether or not to return and contaminate Earth, knowing that the scientist who was on board and the doctor have both worked together to discover that there would be no cure to this due to the nature of this organism and the infection. So no amount of research and development or scientific minds or doctors working together could solve this. It's of a nature where you just couldn't possibly survive it. The human body couldn't. Okay. Radio contact is established with Earth. And I'm not going to tell you a single word more because I don't want to ruin the episode for you. I want you to watch it because, wow, is it ever delightful. And I have to tell you that I absolutely loved the Meridian. The Meridian is the ship that they're on. And there are some very strong nods to Star Trek, the original series in this. And obviously 1952, this is before Star Trek. And so this is going to freak you out. The nature and style of the Meridian is very much like Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. And there are a couple of other things that happen in the episode that are very Gene Roddenberry Star Trek as well. Enough so that it will actually freak you out, where you'll be like, oh my gosh, Gene Roddenberry must have seen this play, or he must have watched this episode of Tales of Tomorrow. So Red Dust is its name. I found this episode to be engrossing, purely scientific. Stephen Hawking would have absolutely loved this. This sort of when you reach out, be careful of what reaches back. And then you have all of these incredibly important questions about the repercussions of first contact and how it can happen in unconventional ways. I'm always saying this, but it's something that really matters to me. What reaches back is probably not going to have a face. And so this is compelling science fiction. And I cannot believe how much these people accomplish in the 22 minutes they have for this episode, this film. They do it in under 22 minutes, and it is absolutely beautiful. So for a 22-minute adaptation, this teleplay on Theodore R. Cogswell's play, Red Dust, I'm driven to give it a 10 out of 10 because it surely deserves that for its content, for its acting, for its trappings, its environment, the things it discusses, and the fact that it's pure science fiction. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to Mark, hoping that Mark watched the episode this week. What did you think of the episode, Mark?
Oh yeah, I did really like it. I thought it was, like we said, all these episodes are really compact because they've only got a few minutes. Plus, they've got to advertise Chrysler watch bands and Chrysler watches and rugs in the middle, which is fine, of course. But so it's it's very, very short, but it gets right to the point. I mean, maybe the ship is cool. They're doing this in terms of basically like a play. As we've said, it's live TV. Obviously they do rehearsals. A little big, I guess, for considering the tech, but that's okay. You can kind of forgive that. Or you think, or you think it's in the future, or it's way off in the future. So they encounter Alpha. They go to Alpha Centauri, so they're the first humans to go there. Mm-hmm. And you don't know if they've got faster than light drive, but you assume they would have to, otherwise it would take hundreds, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of years to get there. They kind of gloss over the tech, but they do say that there were aliens on the planet that were much more advanced than we are. Just leave it at that. But they obviously they never give a date for this episode, right? We don't know how far in the future is or what. They just open the episode up and don't waste time with that unless it was something that I missed.
No.
But there's a nice moral dilemma. The only thing I did think that was kind of they would have prepared for this kind of what happens in terms of contamination and getting on the planet. That's something that I always thought of in Star Trek, and I was thinking of that tonight too. They should Enterprise has the decon gel.
They didn't have that here.
Yeah, so they didn't
have
that. But
they did. The scientists did say they thoroughly cleaned the ship several times. But even one granule of this stuff, and it begins to multiply.
Yeah, so you think that there's something, maybe better they would have had in terms of, but they did explain it. But I was just thinking of, I wish I could be in that Enterprise. I'd definitely help T'Pau with the decon gel. But anyway. That's always a flaw. Or in Star Trek too, I would think they always have the transporter, but you think they'd also say everyone takes a pill or everyone gets I don't want to even say the word now these days. You can't, but something to inoculate them from all all the different alien species they would encounter. So this is really grounded in some good sci-fi, makes you think, and there's a good moral dilemma that they think about that they think about in the end. So that's I really liked that. I thought the acting was pretty good. I mean, it's truncated and would have worked better obviously if they had more time, but they don't. So they don't. So sometimes it's actually better just get to the point and get your there's a good morality tale in this tight little episode. So I'd give it an A too as well. I thought it was really good. Yep. Welcome,
Sander Hammerslag. Hello there.
Evening, Sander.
Good
and
to
while
see
we're taking this little break here, may I please put this up if you don't mind?
Sure.
Zathras says, Raquel, write a backstory of the red dust as a short story starring Zathras. Zathras, I don't have time to do that right now, but you know what I might do? I might write a postcard narrative for you. What do you think of that? I could do that for you, right? Or a flash fiction. Let me see if I have time, because I'm up to my neck in my fourth story for my new book right now. So it's hard for me to break away from that and go make something new. But I would definitely be interested in doing flash fiction or a postcard narrative for you for that. I think it would be quite amusing. And I love you very much. Thank you for always supporting me, Zath.
And here's a picture of the set. You know, it did a pretty good job. Look, I mean, for
It's
this
big,
kind of
hey?
a spaceship.
It's like the German and the Italian films. Like this one reaches past like you know, the early trappings of space travel and moves right into the Gene Roddenberry amount of space. And it reminds me so much of all of those great Italian, those old Italian and old German space shows and space films. There's so much room on the ship. We're dreaming big. It's like it's a lifetime ship or a legacy ship. I love it. The minute that I saw it, I
like
was
Planet of the
oh.
Vampires, right?
Yeah, but that's not Planet of the Vampires. It's
No, but
Planet of
like it.
Yes, but
Like
that's
it,
not
like
the
it.
name of it. Why did they name it that, Mark?
Oh, because I just because probably just the locking on that craze. And I did show my album cover last week on the Clubhouse, right on the.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It's so sexy.
Gorgeous.
That is nerd porn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I love this.
Must have been a vampire craze. But, you know, the Universal monsters were popular, so I guess they just said, let's call it Planet of the Vampires.
Yeah, it's like it's false advertising and a terrible translation. But
yeah,
with the minute that I saw the ship was big like it was for Gene Roddenberry, it was spacious like it was for Gene Roddenberry and for the Italian and the German films that created these super high tech, gorgeous, you know, living cities to travel in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrific. And it made it that much more interesting for me.
That was very well done. Very well done. Yep.
Yeah,
So
I really liked
this
it.
one's on YouTube. I just posted the link, or you know, these are in the public domain. So
yes, they are. Yeah.
So go seek them out and watch them. Yep.
Oh, and look at everyone in the chat is talking, and look at who started this, or was it Michael who started this conversation? Oh no, it's a joke. I thought that they were going to start talking about whether or not what they would do in that position, but the guys are just joking. But it sure makes you think, you know, what would you do if you panicked? Would you have the ethical wherewithal, the moral fortitude to do the right thing, especially when the finest scientist was sent into space with them, and he has conferred with this physician, and they are final. They are firm and final. There's no wiggle room. You cannot survive this dust. You can only prolong your death. It's just, it's a yummy story.
Yeah, it's not an easy choice. Yeah.
Did someone say Planet of the Vampires?
Well, in terms of there we go. Look. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Very nice. Yep.
Fat project. So, wow. And of course, how were the commercials?
Yeah, there's a ring. Yeah. So if everyone, I don't think this Chrysler watch band is still for sale for $9.95.
I wish I could buy it. I wish I could buy it. I love these commercials, and I know I talk about it every week, but I love being treated like an adult, and I love the fact that because they respect the corporations for paying for the broadcast, and that there is a total understanding of how the relationship works with the public, that you are treated with the utmost respect, and the corporations are actually paying talented artisans and artisanship, people who make things, and storytellers, to make these beautiful shows so that they can package it so that they can sell their stuff. And just that transparency of relationship, it just keeps it so pure, so sincere, and you're far more attuned to listen to the advertisements and actually even, dare I say, trust what they're saying, because the relationship is so pure. Give me that transparency. Push the corporation back. We know the corporation uses this stuff to sell their crap, but the corporation shouldn't be in charge of the storytelling. The corporation shouldn't be in charge of the storytelling. When we started accepting that was entertainment's downfall.
And I have to ask, there's something showing on the screen. Does anyone recognize that name?
Yeah, why is that Arthur Rankin Jr. Familiar to me?
Yeah.
Is it Christmas
and
time in
Bass.
July?
Rankin and Bass.
Yeah, that was one of
Wow.
his first jobs.
Oh, mine put one foot in front,
of the other. And of course,
Wow.
what was the movie they
Can't
did with with I'm trying to
Rudolph the
with
Red-Nosed
Apollo Creed.
Reindeer,
No, but they
that
did a
was
movie, Bermuda Depths.
I haven't seen that one.
Never. There was a Rankin and Bass animated. Well, not animated. It was live action with a lot of creatures, a lot of Ray Harryhausen. So it had the guy from Rock, the bad guy from Rock.
Oh, you mean Carl Weathers was in that?
Carl Weathers is in it. Yeah, and
I never saw that.
and Connie Selica's in it, and I think.
Oh my!
And yeah, yeah. Oh my is right, because I bought
The
the
boss
movie on
just
Blu-ray.
sat up. What?
I love her.
Yeah, so,
Hubba hubba.
hubba, hubba, yeah. Connie Selica's in that one.
Oh, Gil Gerard's first wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or second.
hubba hubba. Yeah, Bermuda Depths. Yeah, I thought, who told me about that movie? Someone mentioned it to me that I should seek it out. Maybe it was Hungry Boy. I can't remember, but yeah.
Michael Beacom likes that
good
movie.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Michael Big. Yeah, so here's well, here I'll flip that.
Soul food.
since you mentioned it, but yeah, Rankin and Bass, yep, famous. But that's one of the creatures in the movie. There's a big turtle, and Carl Weathers is wearing a couple scenes. Not
I
much.
forgot
too.
all about that thing. Jeez. There's Connie.
There's Connie Selica. Yep.
Yay.
Before she was on Greatest American Hero.
Mm-hmm.
So
Before she married Gil Gerard, I guess. Well, there you go, sir. Excellent. Well done.
Okay, so should we get moving on to the second
Got another one? Yeah, go for it.
So the second one that and if you have any reviews, if you have watched Red Dust,
Any of you in the chat, yes. If you've seen it, let us know.
Her Royal Highness may have watched this. She's kind of hardcore like we are.
Fiona, you've been watching these episodes as well, Fiona, I believe. Maybe if you're hearing us, let us know.
Yeah,
I saw her commenting earlier. I don't know if she...
Yeah, Fiona's pretty hardcore.
Yes.
So, Fiona, if you watched this one or know about this one, please feel free to leave your rating. And
Yeah, I'd love to hear comments.
If any of you have said anything, seen it, just let us know what you think.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next one is the Golden Ingot. It is season 1, episode 32. That number is derived from the American IMDb, so it's practically meaningless, but it's there. A lot of our viewers are American, but those numbers are often wrong. Anyway, this was first broadcast on May 9th, 1952. The Golden Ingot was actually written by somebody who, if he didn't just acquire this name, because some people in Ireland acquired this name, if he's actually an O'Brien, he didn't just adopt the name. He is one of my relatives. So Fitz James O'Brien wrote this, and he would have written it in around 850. So this Fitz James O'Brien guy is pretty amazing. I'm definitely going to be purchasing his book of short stories because he is featured a lot on Tales of Tomorrow, and he's just a very, very talented author. Last night I read some of the Golden Ingot. I read about 15 minutes of it. And I had to put it down because I thought, I'm going to order this book. And there's an American professor who has put together what he considers to be the best story collections of Fitz James O'Brien. And so I'm going to be buying that copy.
Nice.
Anyway, if you've never heard of Fitz James O'Brien, he was publishing in the 1850s science fiction, gothic horror, and weird tales. So not only is he right up my alley, because like all three of those things are like my favorite things in the whole world, but he's extremely talented. So in this particular episode, his short story, The Golden Ingot, was developed into a teleplay by a wonderful human being called Max Ehrlich. And we need these people.
I know that name.
Yeah, we need people like Max Ehrlich who can read a short story and turn it into a teleplay. That's an art form unto itself. And so I just want to express my gratitude to Max for a job well done on this one. So this story is going to be controversial for some people, but I don't think it's going to be controversial in our community. And I'm going to explain why in my summary. A scientist attempts to perfect the process of making gold from base metals. So a lot of people in the audience are going to go, as though, okay, this isn't science fiction. Slow your roll. I have some things to talk about. He is financially destitute and driven by the misery of his own failure, he poisons himself. He is promptly rescued by his daughter and her doctor boyfriend. Her doctor boyfriend is kind of a D-bag. Upon awakening, he is totally lost. He has totally lost the will to live and is spurred on by his daughter, who is desperate to restore his vigor and his resolve. Remember, this is written in the 1850s. She tricks him into believing in his hopeless research, that these concoctions that he's doing, this alchemy that he's doing, and this thing that looks a bit like a kiln, that it will work. And she's doing it because he doesn't want to live anymore. Like, he's miserable. It's quite sad. His landlord breaks in one night and steals the golden ingot from the oven as the father and daughter sleep. So the daughter begins putting a fake ingot into this kiln to get her father to want to live again, to keep exploring his research. And the landlord breaks in, and the landlord steals it. And she's just using this one fake golden ingot. And so, her scam is up. She's discovered. And the theft and deception are revealed, and the scientist goes off the deep end. In a fit, he dies from a heart attack. Now, I'm not going to explain what happens at the end because I don't want to ruin the story for you. But I would like to explore something, if you don't mind, folks, something really important that I would like to show you and talk about, because I noticed that this story gets a lot of hate online. People making fun of it, people saying this is a stupid story, and thinking that it was written in the 1950s and that it's complete garbage. And it's not. So let's talk about actual science. So Mark, could I please get you to open up a window that's and look up fact or fiction, lead can be turned into gold, in Scientific American magazine.
Sure. Let me just get out of the tab that I was in here.
And I'm going to start reading it, okay? For hundreds of years, alchemists toiled in their laboratories to produce a mythical substance known as the Philosopher's Stone. The supposedly dense, waxy red material was said to enable the process that has become synonymous with alchemy, chrysopia, the metamorphosis or transmutation of base metals such as lead into gold. So it's very important to understand that that in the 1850s, this was still something people were talking about, okay? Alchemists have often been dismissed as pseudoscientific charlatans, but in many ways, they paved the way for modern chemistry and medicine. So this is incredibly important, okay? The alchemists in the 16th and 17th centuries developed new experimental techniques, medicines, and other chemical concoctions such as pigments. So this pursuit yielded good science. And many of them were amazingly good experimentalists, says Lawrence Principe, a chemist and science historian at Johns Hopkins University. Any modern professor of chemistry today would be more than happy to hire some of these guys as lab techs. So, and then we skip through here and we talk about all of these amazing scientists and how they've contributed to science and made science better and all of this, okay? But there is a part here. Just let me grab this part. Here. But despite the alchemist's intellectual firepower and experimental acumen, the philosopher's stone lay forever out of reach. The problem, Principe says, is that the alchemist did not yet know, and this is very important that you pay attention to this, that lead and gold were different atomic elements. The periodic table was still hundreds of years away, believing them to be hybrid compounds and therefore amenable to chemical change in laboratory reactions. The chemists pursued the dream of chrysopoeia to no avail. With the dawn of the atomic age in the 20th century, however, the transmutation of elements finally became possible. I'm going to say this again. With the dawn of the atomic age in the 20th century, however, the transmutation of elements finally became possible. Nowadays, nuclear physicists routinely transform one element to another. In commercial nuclear reactors, uranium atoms break apart to yield smaller nuclei of elements such as xenon and strontium, as well as heat that can be harnessed to generate electricity. So we go down here. Let's go down here a little bit because I don't want to waste too much time on this. But what of the fabled transmutation of lead to gold? It is indeed possible. All you need is a particle accelerator, a vast supply of energy, and an extremely low expectation of how much gold you will end up with. So this wound up happening. So when you read or when you watch this, and people start making fun of it, saying that it's not possible. It is possible. And this entire aspect of alchemy has not only improved science exponentially, but experimentation. It perfected experimentation and the rigors of experimentation. So this is gorgeous science fiction, and the fact that James O'Brien wrote this in the 1850s, and that he was, imparting this into his writing to share this science with us is absolutely incredible, and it is just great fun. So because of that, so now that you know that, so if anybody tries to give you lip about that, I want you to remember that. And I just want to read a little bit from Chapters Indigo, where I'm going to read the book about this fella, James O'Brien. James O'Brien is one of the most important figures after Poe and before Lovecraft in modern horror literature, and was imitated by such authors as Ambrose Bierce and F. Marion Crawford. Jessica Amanda Solomson says, James Fitz O'Brien was the most distinguished short storyteller between Edgar Allan Poe and Hart. So this guy is super cool. I did not know anything about him. I'd never even heard of him. And that's likely because he's more in the horror genre. But I am so excited to have been exposed to this person through Tales of Tomorrow, and the level of scientific content he brings to his writing. So I would like to say hats off to him. And it was cool to talk about this alchemy, what it's led to, and the fact that all the people who are saying that this is garbage, teaching them that it's not garbage, and it's just a very small amount of gold, but learning about the fact that you can do this to atomic particles and a particle accelerator, and it's just absolutely amazing. So I've talked way long enough now, but I needed to explain that, because if you go anywhere on the internet and people are talking about this episode, they are going to shit talk it. Sorry for using profanity, but they will.
Sorry.
Language.
Yeah.
But you need to know that they're full of it. not Fitzjames O'Brien, who wrote this in the 1850s. And other than that, I did not find the acting wonderful. I found the acting kind of bad in this episode. So I only gave it a 9 out of 10, but it deserved a 10 out of 10 because of the content. But the acting is
Ooh, that bad. Huh?
Yeah, so I had to give a 9 out of 10. So it's still amazing, and you must watch it. And wow, it just opens up an amazing door to lots of science and scientific practice. So very encouraging and very beautiful. And that's it. Mark, what do you have to say about the golden ingot?
Right quick, though, just want to welcome X. Hello there, X. Welcome to Clobbering Times. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
And good night, Jill. Jill said she was running out. Good night, Jill. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Jill.
And okay, so I think it proceeds. I think it's a little Sandra Hammer slag, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah.
No, I can't remember that far. All right, go for it.
Well, yeah. Well, yes, I did just say language, and I'm no Captain America. I know Captain America. And I am no, but yeah, no, good story. Kind of an ironic story, maybe a little bit of gift of the Magi. I was thinking in terms of the twist at the end, or the ironic twist. But it's kind of the acting's not great, but the idea is interesting. Now, and of course, reading this. That was a great find here, Raquel. This last sentence here, when they, they actually got this to work, as you said, it would cost more than $1 quadrillion per ounce to produce gold by this experiment. Yeah. Seabrook told the Associated Press that year. Yeah. The going rate for an ounce of gold at the time, about $560. So yeah, sometimes it's not so practical, but that doesn't mean the science isn't there. And hey, look in the future in Star Trek, right? With the warp drive and
that's right.
With the warp reactor and antimatter, maybe they could just make gold. And actually, Deep Space Nine contradicted itself too. At one point, Quark said gold was very valuable, and then another later episode, he said it was
worthless.
That it was worthless. So
just an encasement for latinum.
Yeah, for the Latin. So right. That was the writers screwing up. It should have been consistent. But you can imagine the future. Imagine if gold was as abundant as other materials. Right. What would that do? Or what would it be
Bush
like?
Pan down, by the way. A little Bush Pan down.
Hey, Bush Pan down. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that would wreck the economy, I guess, right? If especially when we're on the gold standard, what if everyone had just had infinite amounts of gold, then it's no one cares at that point. So it's almost like when you're collecting something, and it's kind of like would turn gold into Funko Pops, I guess. No offense to Funko Pop fans out there. I do have some Funko Pops, but a few of them, not gazillions of them. But yeah, it's something like that, where if there's if there were a million Superman comic number ones out there, then wouldn't it be worth anything, right? So but there's action comics, number one, I should say, or Superman number one's worth a lot too, but same, it's the scarcity. So that's what this the whole episode, and people have been trying to do this for thousands of years. I thought maybe we're going to get something like a Midas touch, ironic, something would happen where something went wrong and he turned it a version of Midas. But we didn't get that. But it's still it's worth watching.
We got pure science. But when I saw the reviews of people saying, "Oh, this is stupid. This isn't science. This is dumb," and you look back on this and people describing it as magic, saying the show is garbage and the story is garbage and stuff like that. The minute that you go and ask real scientists, not armchair critics or anonymous people on IMDb or any of these other garbage websites, when you actually go and speak with actual scientists with letters, and you hear them talk about it, look at how lovingly they discuss how this form of alchemy moved experiments and experimentation forward very, very rapidly. It made experimentation and experiments so much better in the field of science, and was eventually proved correct. And so it obviously not viable financially speaking, but who cares about that? you got to care about the science. But just what struck me about this article was how lovingly these scientists express their gratitude for this exploration in science and what it yielded to the field of science. So yeah, great. And you know, this is what science fiction is supposed to do. I'm forever telling people this, but science fiction isn't supposed to be wizards casting spells or everything getting fixed for you and you know, everything's fine and easy. It really is about science and technology and technological advancements and things we're struggling with. And so this is so scientifically inspired. Of course, I immediately went off to go and research it and had a ball with it. And just delicious.
Yeah,
So,
because it's
are you
you're
saying
still
that
doing that. Yep. I
all
was just
gold
saying, yeah,
doesn't come from supernovas? Sorry.
That's a comic book joke.
yeah, right.
How'd you know that?
Just because I know you.
Gold does come from supernovas, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan said that.
Yeah, and
Who's
Dr.
going to argue with
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan?
You were on the losing end of that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you have people following the scientific method and doing experiments and not hokum, they're going to reach different conclusions, and they're not going to be able to back then with that technology obviously they couldn't do it, but didn't mean they didn't try all kinds of legitimate experiments to try to figure it out, and that's how you advance. But failure is the mother of invention. You keep failing, then you get it right, or you find out another by accident. You find out another way of doing things, or and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. There were a couple of famous experiments where they in history where something went wrong, and I don't think it was the light bulb with Edison. I'm trying to remember what.
Manhattan needs atomic pants. He needs some kind of pants. Good.
Did you see this thing
something to
from
stretch,
Lisa?
yeah.
I think we should answer this thing from Lisa before it gets too far away. Lisa says, alchemy, wasn't that about creating gold, or wasn't creating gold the main purpose of alchemy? It's interesting that you should say that, Lisa, because as an academic, I have to say, I don't know. That's not something that I have studied. I've never studied the history or practices of alchemy. I can tell you this: in the beginning of the was written by James O'Brien. He describes himself as a doctor. So he first describes himself as seeing patients to facilitate his science. So I was taken aback by that because, of course, I watched the episode first, and then I was like, darn it. I was like, damn it, Mark. This is the second James O'Brien story on Tales of Tomorrow. I need to go check this guy out. And Mark was saying, oh, don't worry, Raquel, his stuff's in the public domain. You can go find it. So I started reading it. And so, yeah, I never try. I know we live in a world where everybody Googles everything and everybody acts like they're an expert at things. Never trust anyone who doesn't regularly say, I don't know. And I actually don't know. But like I said, what I can say is at the beginning of James O'Brien's actual story in writing in text, he describes himself first as a physician seeing patients to facilitate this science. And I know nothing about the historiography of alchemy, and I cannot speak to it as an expert. But thank you for the question. That's an awesome question.
And I think it is, but I don't want to say it because I don't know everything either. So I think it is, Lisa. But
well, Fiona, and she knows a lot of the stuff as well.
Yeah.
Alchemy originally started as a way to find or discover eternal life. The base metal transmutation came after. Lisa, there you go.
Nice.
Thank you, Fiona. You're right.
And obviously, not just crackpot scientists, because according to an 1850s author, a well-respected 1850s author, they were at least one. So I'm assuming it was common, as the characterization goes, that they were physicians. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Very interesting stuff. Yep.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, and a good, interesting twist at the end of the episode. But no, I don't. I would give this I would give this a B. So I give this an 8 out of 10, which is not bad. But It's
Close to mine.
the,
Terrible
the
acting.
the previous episode. Yeah, the acting's bad and it's very hokey.
Any names?
Who are the names in the? Let's see
Oh,
who are the
let
names.
me
Tell
go
me as far as
check.
people we would
Well, if
recognize.
I go to the very end, I can.
If you haven't seen one that you recognized, obviously you'd have recognized everything.
Let's
go
see.
I mean, that almost looked like Carol O'Connor. Kidding.
Okay, Gene Lockhart plays the professor.
Gene who?
Lockhart.
That name sounds familiar.
Monica Lovett,
Mm-mm.
David McKay, and Theo Godes.
No, he looks familiar, but probably seen him in some stuff.
Nothing I recognize. Yeah.
No biggins. Like Lex Barker, I remember him playing Tarzan. If we're talking about the same dude.
He's cute.
Raquel likes him. Yeah.
I do, but you know me, Mark. I say so because I find so few
be
of
honest,
these
right?
attractive.
Are we talking
Most
about
of
the
them
same
are
Lex
yucky.
Barker? Are we talking about the same Lex Barker though? Because he was a big dude now. Big athlete.
Yeah, but that's why I like him. He's very tall and very handsome, very manly. I like him.
He was a pretty good Tarzan, actually.
Yeah, I remember him as Tarzan. I remember his beautiful blonde hair, and I remember him pushing on off to the side at the top. Yeah, hubba hubba. That works for me.
Well, wait till we talk about this UFO episode tonight. Hubba hubba hubba. And the watch party had fun with that. Yeah.
So before we close out this segment, I just want to thank everyone for entertaining Tales of Tomorrow. I want to thank the captain for allowing me to cover these episodes on his channel. I love you. I hope people aren't bored with this stuff. And if you have any reviews or things you want to say about this episode, please put it in the chat. I want to thank everyone who is participating in the chat and talking about the science of it all.
Gene Lockhart is June Lockhart's father. Okay, wow.
Oh, there we go.
That figures. Yeah, well, I love June Lockhart.
I figured. Yeah, I was sort of heard Lockhart. Yeah, I was wondering if there was a relation there. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, and the book that I'm gonna buy. I should say, where is it here? Okay, everyone, the book that I'm going to get that I was looking up that this American professor has put together, and this is hysterical that his name is John P. Irish, but his name is John P. Irish, and he's put together what he believes to be the best collection of James O'Brien. I'll give you the ISBN 13. Okay, folks, it is 978-069-2962-107. The number is again 978-069-2962-107. If you would like to get that American professor's commentary and collection of the best of James O'Brien's short stories. That's mouthful, isn't it?
And I found a piece of trivia for this episode. Monica Lovett, who was the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know the winner of an ABC talent search? The prize was the role on Tales of Tomorrow. Her story was documented in the September 1952 issue of Show magazine.
Okay.
Because I clicked on her and wondered, is that related to maybe she's Lyle Lovett's mom or something? But yeah, come on, she won a talent show, and
there you go. Wow.
I love you, Princess Fiona. You are the kindest person. I am so happy to count you among my friends and to have you be a part of this channel. You are simply sensational. I love your company so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Fiona, for that. Appreciate you. And yes, thank you, Raquel, for bringing this show to everyone's attention, which I promise I've already watched one. I'm going to watch more.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, should we get moving on to UFO?
Sure.
Yes. Are we ready for UFO?
Let's do it. Should I read? There is a
I do have my book. If you're
yes, please take out the book. As long as you're are your hands clean?
Well, let me go wash my. I did have pizza tonight. I have to show the pizza they made tonight. It was normal pizza, everyone. Just so you know.
Okay, good.
It was normal pizza.
I had a pizza also, and it was normal.
I had a tuna melt pizza today.
We all had pizza of some sort.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're just joining us, or if you're tuning in just specifically for UFO, we're going to get underway here. So, grab some popcorn and M&Ms. And what's that drink called again, Mark? The one with the iced tea and the lemonade
Royal
mix?
Fizbin.
What's it called?
The golfer Arnold Palmer.
Oh, the Arnold Palmer.
Or if you want to
American.
spice it up, if you have a John Daly, that's with some alcohol. That's with some vodka.
Please drink responsibly. This week we are covering Close Up, which is season 1, episode 11 in the USA. It is episode 16 for ITV, but it is prod code 13, so production code 13, the order in which it was filmed. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark. Hopefully he has washed his pizza hands, because he is going to touch the golden book. The golden book.
I got to get some gloves for next week. Yeah.
Yes, please do. I get some of those museum muslin gloves.
Well, I got my contacts in there. Hopefully, I can read this. All right, let's see here.
Well,
I got to get my reading. No, I'll be able to. Yeah, I'm just getting
okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
I'm just trying. Let me turn the lights up. But yep, I'm flipping through very gingerly so I don't get in trouble. What episode is this? 13, right? This is episode number 13. Yeah. Court martial. Here we go. Close up. All right. Put the lights on full blast here. Well, actually, let me read the summary from
and let's stay copyright compliant by showing the book.
Hey, WDW Pro. Hello there, my friend.
Hey, WDW Pro.
And hey, I thank you again for having me on your show earlier. Everyone, of course, if anyone can get the link to the great WDW Pro's channel, please, all my friends, go. If you have not already, you probably already have, but if you haven't, please subscribe to his channel. He's a great fellow, got an amazing channel, and I really, again, I was honored to be there, sir, and it's an honor to see you in the chat. I'm sorry about that, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh, no, hell, yep. So we're reading from the complete book of Jerry Anderson's UFO, Chris Bentley, forward by Ed Bishop, and it came out, I think, it's what's the R&H Reynolds and Heath Limited, and I don't have a picture of the book, but I'll get a cover of the book because
it came out at the same time as the Holy Bible. The Gideons have translated this holy book.
My. Wow, that's extreme.
You may kiss the ring before you touch the book. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding, everyone.
By the way, this guy was in the first episode of Blake 7 as a bad guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was the guy that killed Blake's lawyers. A couple. His name was Dev Tarrant in the episode. Okay, it's Blake 7. I know everything about it. Sue me.
Yeah, inside and out, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So episode.
Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Where you been, boy? I've seen you forever, man. Good to see you, Larry. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Got to say hello to buddy Larry. There's Grim, too. There's Grim.
Grim's here, too. A lot of people rolling in. Yep.
All right.
Very nice. Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. We'll get you out of here.
We got it. No, it's good. Yeah. Episode 13, Close Up. I'm sorry to disillusion you, Straker, but I can get you some great shots of Earth with a $2 camera from a balloon. So this is from the Fanderson guide. Straker gets IAC backing to use a B-142 space probe mounted with an electronic telescope to track and follow a UFO to its origin, there to take pictures of the alien homeworld and transmit them back to Earth. Now comes the difficult part. To maneuver a UFO into a position where the probe can be activated into a new flight pattern. And the scientists in the guild get to do a lot of great work in this episode. This is one of the best episodes, I think, for our favorite engineers / techs in purple wigs.
Yep.
So this is written by Tony Barwick, if I'm saying that name incorrectly. Sorry, Tony. But directed by Alan Perry. Filming schedule Monday, 29th of September to Thursday, 9th of October, 1969. Originally aired Wednesday, December 16th, 1970 at 8 p.m. And it was filmed on location in England and London. Additional cast: Joseph Kelly played Neil Hallett, Young was James Beckett. Yeah, tracking station operator Alan Tucker, Gary North, Mark Hawkins. Launch controller was played by Frank Mann. And let's see, other cast members: Robert Sherman, Robert Howey, Clive Endersby, and John Levine. So
John Levine. By the way, you know who that is, right?
No, who's that? Intercept?
John Levine's one of the Interceptor pilots. That's Sergeant Benton from Doctor Who. So I have actually met a person who was on a UFO episode.
UFO show. That's
What?
awesome.
I can't believe it. Yes.
What?
I met John
Shin
Levine
kicks.
back in 1992. So at least I've met somebody, maybe more
Why
than one.
wasn't I in your pocket? You should
I
have
don't
packed
know.
me in your pocket that day.
I was looking for you, but it was the past. It was 1992. I had not met you yet, in my future self.
Why
couldn't
hadn't I
find
met
that
you
self.
yet? Damn it, Mark!
God
My
damn it.
future-
That's my
I'll go
fault.
back
Yeah.
I'm and handle that though. Don't worry. Don't tell Captain Finity though.
Yeah.
So yes, I
All right.
met someone who was on a UFO episode. I was watching that last night, going, "Oh yeah,
Wow!
I've met him before.
you met him?
No, I'm just joking.
Amazing.
Like you're saying, yeah, I've met him before. Yeah, as it comes on the
You
screen.
know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about, right? Sergeant Benton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doctor
let me.
Who?
Doctor
Sergeant
Who.
Benton.
Let me
Yeah.
use the powers of the interwebs to
Started with Patrick
see his
Troughton,
picture.
Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker. He was one of the.
Oh yep. Now that I see, yep.
Working for the
Yeah,
Brigadier.
yeah. Now when I see the photos, yep. Brigadier, yep.
Brigadier.
Good stuff.
Sorry about that. I just remembered it last night. Sorry about it. Good.
That's a geek aside, as we call them. So I'm going to try to read this out with glasses. Haven't read this before, so bear with me. So the notes from this episode, from the Bible / UFO book. The sequence with Skydiver at the start of the episode. Oh, it was beautiful. Yep, I'm just that's was a late addition that did not originally appear in Tony Barwick's shooting script. Several sequences filmed for the episode were deleted in the final episode, all illustrating examples of Gay Ellis's overcompensating for her position as a woman doing a man's job by refusing to allow emotions to interfere with her work. Now that's interesting because I wondered how that was referenced in this episode. There were no scenes referencing that, so that's really interesting tidbit. The first,
there was a scene referencing that.
He did.
No,
say
but
it.
I mean, they just say it, but they didn't show. Did they show?
Yes,
they
showed
mentioned
it.
Okay.
They
Well,
have a
that's
little bit
fault.
of a tiff. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But I guess they cut some more scenes out that illustrate it more. I guess they're saying there, which is interesting.
Gotcha.
The first set in the woman's dormitory in the sleep sphere featured Nina Barry and Joan Harrington discussing the quartet of male visitors to Moonbase, revealing that Barry fancies Ford and Masters, while Harrington has flipped over Commodore Straker. Their discussion is cut short by the arrival of Gay Ellis. Later, Ford and Barry are relaxing in Central Park and invite Ellis to join them as she passes. She declines and leaves the area, but the exchange has been observed by Straker. While Ellis then arrives in the command sphere, she rebukes Masters for socializing. Socializing. Sorry, my eyes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Socializing there with Harrington. Foster reacts angrily, explaining that Masters and Harrington were working under his instructions. In the script, Lieutenant Aisha Johnson was originally intended to be the focus of Kelly's close-up photography at the end of the episode. Interesting. Very interesting.
But that's all cut out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess originally, then they changed.
That's all.
They
Changed it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it. Yep. The spacesuit backprop from 2001, A Space Odyssey, one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm adding that. Was added to the astronaut spacesuits for the spacewalk sequence. Oh, very cool. Designed by Harry Lang, the backpack had originally been worn by one of the lunar scientists at CLOBBERIN base during their visit to TM1 in Stanley Kubrick's film. It was rediscovered by the UFO crew in the MGM British Studios prop store 3 years after all props in the films were supposed to have been destroyed in order to prevent their use in other productions, which is a true story. That's why there's so little stuff from the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just some chairs that survived and very few things, and Kubrick wanted everything destroyed. Yeah. And as only one back was available, Michael Billington and John Kelly had to share it between them to continue to eat problems. See, oops, opposite. The spacewalk sequences.
Hey, Mazurus. Good.
Maze! Hi, sweetheart.
Good to see you, bud.
The spacewalk sequence. Yep, thank you. Yep. The spacewalk sequence is accompanied by Sleeping Astronauts, a piece of incidental music that was originally composed by Barry Gray for the space journey in Doppelganger, 1969. The probe's arrival at the alien planet is accompanied by a cue composed by Gray for the Stingray episode Pink Ice. During production, certain scenes were photographed in stereo by GAF Viewmaster. Oh, and then, if you're old enough to have seen Viewmaster slides. Yeah. Oh, God, that'd be so cool to have Viewmaster UFO slides. I'm going to go look for them.
I think I got a buddy of mine has them.
You're killing me. You're killing me. Americans are so spoiled.
Yes, we are.
I love your culture. I love you. I just love you guys.
3 months 3 months after filming his uncredited appearance as an interceptor pilot in this episode, John Levine, real name John Anthony Woods, joined the regular cast of Doctor Who as Sergeant Benton. Who just mentioned that? He had previously appeared in Z-Cars and 4 earlier Doctor Who serials: The Moonbase, The Web of Fear, The Invasion, and The War Games.
Z-Cars, dude. Here's why I'm telling you that, though. Not just because of number one. When I was at a con in the mid-'90s, Sarah Jane Smith, Elizabeth Sladen was there.
Yep.
And some guy got up and asked her about being on the set of Z-Cars. And she was like, do you mean Z-Cars?
Z-Cars.
Z-Cars.
It is Zed. Yes. Clobby, I love you so much. Just want to
I love that. Yeah. He was later seen in episodes of The Adventure, Gallon, and Carry On Laughing, but he quit acting in the 80s and moved to the USA.
And then met me.
And met me.
By the way, told a dirty joke on stage at a Doctor Who con in St. Louis. He's a great dude. Yeah. Nice guy.
Was it 2 white horses fell in the mud?
No, but I'll tell it to you later.
I'll tell us off air, right? Yeah. Here are the oops. Both Kelly and Aunt Henderson refer to the International Astrophysical Commission as the Aerospace Commission. During the presentation to the Financial Committee, Ed Bishop fluffs one of his lines, but a remarkable sang-Freud corrects his mistake and carries on if nothing had happened. He says, "My project is to launch a standard or a modified B-142 space probe. A standard probe was not supposed to be an option for the project." When Foster leaves the lunar module to fit the electron telescope into the probe, he suddenly acquires a jetpack on his back, but has disappeared again when he pulls his line taut. The astronaut left on board the lunar module initially wears Foster's helmet from Survival, but when he throws a telescope out to Foster and Masters, he's wearing a doppelganger-style helmet. As the UFO approaches the moon, Joan Harrington reveals it's traveling at a speed of Sol 8.35, but Sid then announces the UFO speed as Sol minus 8.35, which Ford then confirms is constant. Well, that's my all minor stuff, and I guess with the props and these days you can watch shows back and forth over and over. I just love this episode. I'm gonna go grab my glasses, so I shall be right.
Okay. Well,
no, I'm good. Yeah, I just had to
we'll start talking about the episode.
Yeah, talk about the episode. And I'll be right back. I gotta get my glasses now. I took one of my contacts out so I could read that.
Oh, I got you.
Are your hands even clean? You did that in your office, and you did that for us.
My hands are always clean. I had to make pizza tonight. I washed my hands quite well tonight.
Wash your contact. I can't believe you did that for us.
You just throw them out. They're disposable.
Friend.
I'll be right back.
Ezra, I don't know if John Levine still lives in the States or not. I'm sure about that, but he's still kicking. I see him on Twitter sometimes. Sergeant Benton. 5 rounds rapid. I love. He was a really nice guy. So I always get a kick out when I see a Doctor Who or Blake 7 person in an episode of UFO. But this is a great one. I mean, this episode is just only these people can tell you a very simple, very straightforward, not even an episode with no action whatsoever, just intelligence. I mean, I adore this. This episode is pure science fiction.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Good. I want to let you talk about it though, because I know that this is your show.
No, it's
UFO. No, UFO is your show. I mean,
yeah.
You own it, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the thing. Well, that's very kind of you, but everything that I do on this show, I do 100% with you. You are my partner in crime. Something that I found very interesting is I really look to you as like a pure geek source. And so when you say things, I really pay attention. and you know a lot of things about geekdom, a lot of things about television and film that I don't know. And you were mentioning, is it John Levine?
John
I
Levine,
looked
yes.
him- yeah, I looked him up, and his last name is spelled Levene, correct?
I guess.
Do you know that he doesn't have a Wikipedia page?
Really? Must have an IMDb or something though, because it's been on some British TV shows. No wiki.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I want to announce that on the show because it's incredibly important, because we have like super geeks and super nerds here. Just look, Fiona's here.
Yay.
Larry's here. And everybody else who's in the chat, we have super nerds here. So if you have editing permissions on Wikipedia, and you have some time this week, I would really appreciate it if you could add a Wikipedia page for John Levine, the Interceptor pilot from UFO, and his other projects, so that he will not be forgotten. And if one of you could do that for me for Clobby, I would be very happy.
I can't believe that a well-known, beloved, longtime regular on Doctor Who would not have a wiki. Look, this is only one episode of UFO he's on, but yeah. I mean, he was on Doctor Who for years.
I'm seeing his Wikipedia page. I'm back.
How come it's not showing up for me?
Because you live in Canada?
That could be it. Hold on, darling.
I was sorry.
One more time.
I'm teasing.
Funny, I live under a rock. You have all the fun stuff.
Don't be mean. What's wrong with you?
Oh, that's why.
There it is. Oh,
because when you look it up, it actually comes up as John Anthony Woods.
Oh, really? Weird.
That's his real name.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. I've known who he is for 40 years.
He also has another name. I think it might be a stage name or maybe a writing name. It's John Anthony Blake. So that's why.
Oh, weird.
So cancel that, folks.
Passed away when he was
I've only
born,
known him as Levine. Really? Sergeant Benton. I thought he was a great guy. I loved him on Doctor. He was really, and he was a nice guy. But
he's still alive.
Yeah, he still is. He's
81.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, but he's known as John Anthony Woods primarily. Then his second name is John Anthony Blake, and then he's known professionally on television as John Levine. So the gentleman has 3 names. That's why I couldn't find his Wikipedia page. So thanks for that.
I didn't know he was living in the States, though. Whoever mentioned that earlier, Ezra.
That's cray.
I did not know that.
So should I dig into my notes,
or
are we going to let Mark keep reading since he went and checked his eyeballs?
Go for the notes.
You can read your notes. Yep.
Okay. All right. UFO close up. This is a pure nerd episode. Calling all nerds, get into your seats, calling all nerds. So the topics here are, research and development, engineers making sexy space stuff, and engineers making not so sexy space stuff.
Good night, Michael Bacon, by the way. So, yeah.
Good night, Michael Bacon.
Good night,
good night, Cassandra. Good night, sweetheart.
Cassandra.
And that's key here, because engineers and developers also make not so sexy stuff, and that's actually key to this episode. So I want to say that. I also like the fact that it gets into the nitty gritty, it's very realistic of what it's like to pitch to a panel. Like if you're defending your thesis, or if you're defending your research, or you're giving a university seminar, or you're going to the government to ask them for money to, finish your doctorate and things like that. It's never easy to get funding. And I really like the way that they showcase that in a very realistic way, where you have to fully present your ideas. You have to have a full physical and intellectual presentation. Has to be very cerebral. It also has to be very applied, and getting that funding is not easy. So I absolutely love it. It is totally realistic. It is actual science fiction. It is very nerdy. And then I wrote in yelling all caps, space porn. July 20th, 1969. Anyone? We have tons of launching, tech surveillance, and landings happening in this episode, and it's absolutely glorious. And then something weird happens. Gay and Ed clash. And this is a rarity because canon is that they are always of, and I quote, one mind. And it goes so far, their relationship goes, their closeness goes so far that they can predict one another's thoughts, behaviors, and ideas at work. So seeing them sort of clash is kind of weird. We have some lovely zero gravity scenes. They're absolutely phenomenal for 1968, 1969. Just so impressive. It just blows my mind. As they retrofit the probe with the super camera. Gay fights for logic, and Ed assures her that instinct also works, feelings in the heat of the moment. And then, of course, they have that exchange where he is just so loving and kind and says something that I wish all men would say to women. And he is just a champion for women, and I just love him. We'll talk about that later. And then we have this satellite in hot pursuit. Once again, this is beautiful space pern. Then we have coffee time, where Straker gets into it's a man's job, but you don't. And I love that he says this to her. This is a man's job, but you don't have to work harder than a man. I love that he says that to her. Like, what an amazing boss. What an amazing human being to say to an accomplished woman like Gay, who's a lieutenant. We are strongly led to believe that she's an astrophysicist, because, of course, she has studied the same things as Straker. They are of one mind here. And here he is telling her, not in front of people, but in private, you don't have to be better than a man. I'm judging you the way I'm judging the men. I think you're wonderful just the way you are. You don't have to kill yourself for this job. I see you. I respect you. I think you're talented. Everything's okay. And the fact that he has that conversation with her, like if you're a woman who works in STEM, like I do, like if you're primarily STEM or STEAM, although all STEM is slightly STEAM, you know what that's like. And so it's an incredible moment. And you could watch it over and over and over again and never get enough of it. I like the fact that Foster gets the wrong idea at the very end, because the actual antithesis of their conversation is conveyed at the end. And Straker has to slap him down. He's like, look, you got the wrong idea at the tail end of that conversation.
Yeah. He didn't really say anything, though.
No,
he didn't. I mean, it wasn't his fault.
But the look on his face, look on his face. And Straker is such a good leader. I love that Straker walks in to the what's the acronym again? When you're in the command center, what's it called again? Oh, there's a scientific term for it. Anyway, when he walks into the command center and everyone's standing around, and he has to leave, and he thanks everyone. He says, I want to thank you all for your hard work on this project. You did beautiful work, everyone. I'm so proud of you. It's such a pleasure to work with you. You're such a talented team. Thank you. So here we're seeing Straker is not only a colonel, but he is an amazing leader and a great man. And then we get a glimpse at the alien planet. Now, the first time I watched this episode totally creeped me out. You can see that LJ, that deep, dark, creepy green everywhere, and it's and then, of course, we find out that the photos are useless. And Gay demonstrates how vital the distance and magnification are to the scenario. And she is stripped down, and you can see how beautiful she is.
Oh my!
What was she talking about in that part? I couldn't concentrate. What were they talking? Was there dialogue in that scene?
Yeah. Listen, Gabrielle Drake is absolutely gorgeous. Like, absolutely, like, objectively, that woman is objectively beautiful. If you're a human being with a pulse, you know Gabrielle Drake is just gorgeous. And then, of course, we have the R&D engineer.
Quickened.
Yes, did it? And then, of course, we have the R&D engineer getting his philosophical revenge. So Straker cuts him off basically and says, look, we're shooting for the stars. We're not trying to develop things here on Earth. And of course, the R&D guy gets his revenge by saying, you know, more earthly research is needed. And that's the actual entire purpose of this episode. And it's to demonstrate that while you're reaching for the stars and you're doing all the cool stuff that makes people go, ooh, ah, you also have to pay attention to your nerds who are doing all of the unglorious, unsexy work that leads to that sexy work. So it's really important not to brush nerds aside and to not to ignore the financial needs of nerds who are doing research and development. So to tell you the truth, I'm actually not happy about this out because, of course, this is 1.6, I believe, $1.6 billion. And it's a $1.6 billion design flaw. And they even got NASA involved. So I thought that the very end was kind of weak, but I know why the Andersons did it. And their reasoning was ethical and very cool. And that is that, there is a lesson in science and in research and development. And that is watch your nerds, protect your nerds, give your nerds money. If you don't, projects will fail. I just don't think that Straker would make an error this big. And so I deducted some points this week.
Can't be
and now
perfect.
I'm going to be quiet while you guys talk.
No, I don't have much to say about that. You covered everything pretty much well. I don't mind anytime. I don't just as I don't mind if Kirk makes a mistake sometimes or Spock makes a mistake, which he has, and so Straker can't be perfect all the time. So that didn't bother me. But I hear you, absolutely. Yeah. And now this conversation he had with her,
yeah, it's right on the screen right now. Yep.
Yeah, he right there, I know he's being professional, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Paul's off base thinking whatever he might be thinking. What was it? Because a little later, remember what he does say to her? He says, next time you're on leave or whatever, or on furlough or whatever, come see me or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Straker's
wanted to go over calculations.
Straker's human. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't begrudge him. I mean, Kirk never, well, I was about to say Kirk didn't mess around with anyone under his command, but we do know Helen Noel.
Yeah.
But hey, he's a man. What are you going to do? I mean, come on. Straker's not perfect either. You can't be perfect all the time. You can't have Foster make all of the mistakes, right?
Well, yeah, but let's just put it this way. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak of all womanhood, but I can speak for myself. I've had my fair share of men making passes at me at work and otherwise, and I didn't find what he was doing to be slimy in any way.
No, I didn't either.
No, and I do have to say too that even if you do get that vibe, it's very important to mention that if she did wind up having a relationship with a Straker made it very clear that he respected her as a total equal, and he makes that quite clear. But also, she was with Bradley.
She was, and he just disappeared from the damn show, didn't he?
Yeah, and and they had a sexual relationship.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And so she's not. It's not like Gay is the kind of person to shy away from meeting people at work. And to some extent, this is going to sound really unpopular, and people might hate me for saying this, but I think it's really unrealistic to expect that people who work at this high of a level, at this high of a level of education and work, that they are expected to find people outside of work. I think it's natural to find people within your social circle with your same intellectual capacities and your same training and your same,
sure, absolutely.
I think, I think sometimes, and this is going to get me into a lot of trouble. I hope I don't get canceled for saying this. Actually, I don't care if I get canceled, but I think that we make unrealistic expectations of people in certain situations. I do think that it's natural for two professors who have met one another in an academic environment. It's perfectly fine, I think, for them to be together. Just like I think it's perfectly fine for Gay to date Bradley and for her to date Straker.
Absolutely.
Because how else are you going to meet people, especially when you're an astrophysicist? Who are you meeting? You're not going to
Yeah.
date the guy who works
No.
at Dairy Queen.
That's why
The problem
McCoy said,
happens though, depending on who's in, dating someone in
But-
charge, or you always hear about the boss and the secretary. That's where you can
Yes,
get into.
as long as there isn't a power differential. But that's why I
Yeah.
prefaced by saying that if it's done because it's due to intellectual capacity or even financial and intellectual and just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
think-
CEOs that had to retire in the last few years. It turned out they were dating subordinates, or people, or some companies actually have rules. I'm glad my parents' company didn't have that because I wouldn't be here. But that rules that you couldn't date, date anyone at the company.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about, right? Like if you work in a highly
I should pause that
technical,
there, right?
highly intellectual environment, and you happen to meet someone, you shouldn't be on Tinder. Oh, I don't have anything against Tinder. Please don't send me any messages about Tinder. Tinder is wonderful. Tinder's wonderful. I hear. I know nothing. Anyway, without getting myself into massive amounts of trouble here, I'm just saying that if there's no power differential and you're talking about highly intellectual, highly skilled people who are in a very closed environment, if they want to bump uglies and have Google eyes for each other, it doesn't bother me. But I'm only speaking for myself. Please don't send me any hate mail.
I think this should be used as
Send
my
Raquel
eye
all
chart.
the hate mail, everybody. Hey, Sean Carter from Mars is here.
Sean Carter from Mars.
Thank you for the super sticker. I mean, super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. He says, sorry I'm late, folks. You're never late, man. We're just glad to see you. Sending love to all. Love back at you, buddy. Thank you so much. No one's ever late here. We're glad to see anyone who shows up. So
follow Sean Carter on YouTube. He makes amazing models, and right now he's working through a series of Star Trek models. You need to hustle your buns over to Sean Carter's channel. Sean, can you provide that somehow?
If someone can get the link, I don't have it on me. I need to find it. You can find it later.
I think I have it on my list. But I was just going to say, Clobberin, don't you think this would be perfect for an eye chart? Go to the eye doctor.
She's so smoking. I can't blame him, but yeah, I mean, look, McCoy said there are no regulations against romance, Jim. But still, the captain can't. Kirk always said he wasn't allowed because he was the captain, although he didn't always obey it, obviously, because he's human. So, Helen, the Christmas party, but hey, dagger to the mind. Just saying. But anyway.
So what would
but Straker can make a mistake, and I mean, but again, I just love the way this episode of the stuff where the ending part where the engineer basically shows him what was wrong with the flaw in the camera, and I knew I'd seen that guy on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
On an episode, not a regular, but he was also a guy on Doctor Who. I'm sorry when anybody on UFO is either on a Doctor Who or Blake 7. Oh, he's also in some Avengers episodes, and New Avengers and the Protectors. But anyway, so yeah, I've seen that guy and some stuff, and oh my god,
camera just broke.
Sure.
Oh wait.
I love you, Chris. Thank you, sweetheart. Everyone, Chris Persia just put Sean's channel in there. Can you go follow Sean for me, everyone, please?
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Chris.
Ooh, look at this. Look, Princess Fiona is participating.
Let's see here.
Shall I star her? She's got 4 coming down the pipe.
Okay. Oh, good. We'll star them in. Whoops. In the meantime, thank you again, Sean. JD amps are fine. I'm a member of Clobber. Cool. Thank you, Sean.
That's for Rocky people.
Yeah. No one would date me if I owned the app. So, but anyway, let's see here. So I give it an A. I just really enjoyed the episode. What did you give it? Number 1. Give it an A.
I think that it was okay that the design flaw played out, because Stricker does say that it was only a team of 2 developing that, but I do think that the overall message, the more important message, that real nerding is not glamorous, I think that makes it worth it. So I deducted a little bit. I only gave it an A-, but your comment does stand, and I do accept it, and I do think that is a very valid point. Straker's allowed to make mistakes too. So I gave it an A-, boss.
Okie dokie. Excellent. No, that's a I mean, look, these are some great episodes. What was yours again, Marky? What you got? Do you have any
I would
words?
give this an A plus. I think. Yeah.
Cool. This
I
is a
love this
great
episode.
show. Yeah. I love
Would
it.
you give it an A or
Yes, I give it a solid A.
solid A?
Sure,
Yep.
yes, sir. This show, so many of them are A minus to A plus quality. You got to be stingy a little bit with that plus, I think. But yeah. So, well,
And Princess Fiona has as a rating as well, boss.
let's see what the princess has to say. X said, "Oh yeah, they did that for fun. It requires nuclear reaction." Okay, I think I started that just so I could say hi to X, so I wouldn't forget it. And by the way, they have a new feature on, in case you hadn't seen that, in StreamYards. It automatically stars super chats, which is pretty cool.
I noticed that. Crazy.
Very cool. Good. It's very helpful.
And member chats too, right? Does it grab the members chats now?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Well, I thought I saw it the other day grabbing a member chat.
No, sir.
Oh, well. Drat.
So it's not, I'm afraid. So Princess Fiona says A. An error like this, it would have really gotten past preliminary testing, as it was testable, unlike the Hubble mirror detect.
I agree.
Defect, which was unforeseeable. But it was in service of a greater story. Besides, this is a very secret organization.
Yeah.
You got to think about too. It's like, they don't have as many people working with them. Despite the technical errors, this episode centered around an incredibly profound idea, context and scale.
Yeah.
Something they used to teach every kid in science class in the form of units.
Yes, that is the scientific aspect here.
Yep. In reality, there would have been other ways to determine the correct scale, using focal length, depth of field, stars, and curvature of known celestial objects.
Yep.
Even in the far-flung future of 1980. Not to mention
God, I
radar.
love this woman.
Not indeed, we all do. Not to mention radar, which the satellite should have. The story had an incredible amount of suspense for an episode with no action. I keep expecting sabotage. I kept expecting. Yes, I kept expecting something to do with aliens here and there, and that was one of the things. I guess that's why I liked the episode so much, Fiona, was that I was expecting that same thing. Like again, there would be something to do. I was expecting either some terrible accident while they were testing everything, or something to do, an alien attack screwing things up. And when they didn't go that way, that's why I love the episode, because everything I expected from the kind of formula that for this kind of show usually does didn't happen. In other words, all that stuff going on, I'm sitting there every second going, okay, something's going to explode. There'll be some kind of malfunction. They're going to be attacked by aliens. This, someone's going to make, and none of it ever happens. We just get to the end, and it's a very dry conclusion of, well, I tried to tell you guys, basically the tech guy tried to warn them, and they wouldn't listen to him, and that's that.
That's right.
No drama, no action, and that in itself
not formulaic
was brilliant. That's why I think I really admire the episode so much.
Yeah, anti-formulaic, and this show is very much like that. That's why I find it so cerebral. I find it so intellectually and emotionally stimulating, because you don't get a Hollywood ending. You don't have all of these Hollywood formulas at play in this episode. I also really like that Princess Fiona found the same errors that I found, and yet she emerged on the other side of it, seeing the value in it besides those errors. So we are of one mind on this, and I loved her review. Thank you, Princess Fiona. Terrific.
Also a very not only distinct possibility what you're saying there, Fiona, but something that is kind of a cliche, another cliche or a trope that you've seen in TV a lot that they didn't fall into, like expecting the disgruntled scientists and sabotage would go, "Oh, they never take me seriously. Well, I'll show them." Didn't do that at all. He just was like, well, and again, that's another brilliant thing about this episode. When Straker, how many TV shows, when the scene where Straker tells him, "Well, I'll try, but I don't think I'm," basically, we're not going to give you anything. Would the guy have really be pissed off, and you have this the episode would
could you imagine Star Trek Discovery?
Oh my god,
not
just them though. How much, of all television history, their story, the writer would not be able to resist having that guy who's frustrated It would focus. You would see more scenes with him. He would be the focus would be on him being frustrated, pissed off, and he's going to show them. And he's going to do something to get their attention, or just he's going to quit. Some kind of crap's going to happen that it's going to involve that guy. He was like, okay, I tried. I mean, what else are you going to do? He was pretty disappointed, but he was a decent, level-headed individual, played by Neil Hallett, by the way, who was, again, I've seen on a lot of stuff. And, yeah, what was he going to, he acted like a normal person. Like, I mean, he was disappointed, but what is he supposed to do? And then
he gave a nerd reaction, right? He gave a nerd reaction. That's the greatest thing about this show.
It was so real.
The Andersons write like nerds. They write like geeks. They write like sci-fi people. So instead, a drama person would have turned this into revenge and sabotage. But a science fiction person decided to come up with a much better idea, which is let's show the lesson here in cultivating R&D and making sure that we leave research for non-glamorous R&D, because without non-glamorous R&D, we don't make it to the stars. And making that the evident lesson in the episode is courageous. Not only is it courageous, but it's pure science fiction, and it definitely appeals to real nerds and real geeks. Moving to the drama would be easy, but they kept it meaty and yummy.
Nine times out of 10, the guy's a disgruntled shithead who goes nuts, and he's all pissed off like an emotional baby. And that's just the show's so mature. I mean, and what's the hilarious thing about the maturity of the show is this is every other show these people did before this were about puppets flying around in ships fighting puppets.
So much potential.
They weren't puppets.
So much potential.
To me, they were real.
But you know what I'm saying, though.
I know I'm joking, but
they did a kid show. And they come and do this, and those ships still look similar to the ones on their puppet shows. So people probably like, oh, that's right, another one of those little silly puppet type shows, just with real people this time. And it's so not. And maybe that was also something that heard it in 1970. But Mr. Angel says, A, for amazingly well written episode, QED. P.S. Purple. We like the purple. Miss
hey
Dave
everyone,
C.
please say good morning to Matthew Pounder. Matthew Pounder,
what's up, buddy?
He's getting ready for work right now. He's going to be making his way to work, and he listens to us as he gets ready for work and goes to work. So we may only have a few minutes for him to respond because he's busy in the morning. Matthew Pounder, good morning, sweetheart. Have a wonderful day at work. Please be safe, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful time.
Indeed. Good point, Dave. See, that is another cool aspect of it. And although frustrating, so this episode crushed me because it was exciting to think that you would see the alien world and then shin kicks. Yep. Yeah. That's that's a very interesting bit of it for sure. And Larry says, wouldn't the UFO going home detect our probe following it? I don't know. We have no way because we don't know anything about the UFO people. Yep. We don't know. That's the thing. It works because you could say, should they or shouldn't they? I don't know. We don't know what kind of
I thought initially
they have.
The satellite / probe was going to latch onto the UFO alien ship or stow away.
That was happen too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but then it showed just following. And I do have a bunch of stuff to show on satellites and Perkinometer. Whenever. Yep.
Another point one thing I would say to Larry on that also is that you never know because, I mean, remember these aliens frequently fly out toward Earth and get blasted out of the stars, and they keep doing it. Once in a while they get through.
Yep.
They're just so. I mean, their tech, while they can travel better than we can between the stars, perhaps. You'd think if they were that advanced, that we wouldn't have a chance against them. So Princess Fiona also said, Larry, that's another area in which I was willing to give the episode a pass. They didn't really talk a lot about detection abilities in general in the show. No, we don't know anything. So. Really,
it's funny though because what Princess Fiona thought of and what Larry thought of, I think of every time I watch.
I was wondering about it. Yeah.
It's just amazing how similar many of us are in the way that we imbibe science fiction. Everyone, could you do me a favor? Would you please say goodnight to Chris Persia?
Persia.
Just as Matthew Pounder is waking up and greeting his day and getting ready for work, Chris Persia has had enough. It's time for him to go to bed.
Chris,
good night,
take
Chris.
care, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Night, Chris.
Thank you
Yep.
for everything. Good night, sweetheart.
Yeah, buddy, you be good. While you're doing that, I'm gonna get meds. So you two take the con for a second if you want.
Okay, Mark.
Yes, I got
Let's
some
do
good
your show
stuff
and
to
tell,
share.
boss.
You have the
let
con
me,
number
pull
one.
this over. So, well, first off, since we'd mentioned the errors in the Hubble, we'll talk about that for a minute, and then I'm going to show some satellites that I think inspired the satellite in this show, or the probe in this show. So let me share my screen here. Let's see if I do share screen. Oh, how do I do? Oh, let me do stop screen here. Let's see here. Present. I think I was already sharing the screen from before, so here we go. So here's yeah, doing it. Yeah, how do I share a screen? What's going on? Yeah. So here's a picture of the Hubble telescope, and this was polished at Perkin-Elmer, which my father worked at for about 6 years as an engineer. So we're just showing you the scope, how big this mirror is, and it's all computer controlled, I'm sure, to do the polishing. But just, this is all one-off stuff too. So you make all these fixtures, and there's only one Hubble telescope. So I would just make a mirror. How complicated could that be? So it's got to be incredibly detailed and precise. So what happened when they're doing this, and this is how accidents happen all the time. A worker accidentally inserted a 2-foot metal rod upside down in a measuring instrument while making the Hubble Space Telescope's primary mirror, causing a flaw that blurred the $1.5 billion telescope's view, which wasn't Stryker's Stryker's telescope. This was $1 billion he needed, right? Yep.
I think it was 1.6 or 1.5, but I don't remember.
It's
I should
similar,
know
yep.
because I've watched the episode multiple
I thought
times.
it was
but
1 billion, but it was
there's
pretty
so
close.
much sci-fi in my head, Mark. There's just
Yeah.
so much crap jammed in. Well, not crap, but there's just so much stuff jammed in my head. Sorry.
Yeah. So the company manufactured the Hubble's primary mirror in the late 70s and early 80s when Hughes Danbury was a division of Perkin-Elmer Corp. There was no way the person who inserted the rod could have known it was upside down, said Lou Allen, director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Allen declined to identify the person. But that's how simple things happen, right? I mean, I've done stuff like that. Where you put in stuff together, trying to fix something. You just put something, and you're like, "Oh, crud! How did I do that?"
Yeah, but Princess Fiona and Larry, I believe, were alluding to this particular article or this happenstance.
Yeah. That's why I wanted
earlier
to
in
show
the chat.
it.
This
Yeah,
is
that's why I
so
wanted to
cool,
show that.
Mark.
So it was a technical error made by people of goodwill who made a mistake. The rod, made of a temperature-insensitive metal invar, should have used vibranium, was used in a measuring device that guided the polishing of the mirror, Alan said, which is that measuring device I just showed. Because it was inserted incorrectly, it caused a 1.3 millimeter spacing error, which I'm laughing, but that was, as Fiona saying, the 1/50th the thickness of a human hair. So, hair, it's just so tiny. The flaw caused a spherical aberration, had blurred the view of the much acclaimed Hubble. The orbiting observer was supposed to take razor sharp pictures of the outer reaches of space. Instead, they got vision like Mark. Oh, no, just kidding. Yeah, the flaw will be corrected during a previously scheduled 1993 space shuttle mission. This is an old article. Replace the Hubble's most powerful instrument.
Yeah.
Will cost an extra $15 million to build the new planetary camera to make up for the flaw. But as we know, they eventually fixed it. Many tests, which is one of the most technically difficult space missions, and
I need to read up on this.
That was so truncated too in the episode. I know it was shortness of time, but they kind of got that special gizmo / telescope into that craft a little bit too easily. But it was very cool setup, and the effects are very well done. Many tests could have been done to detect the error during the manufacturing process, but PerkinElmer scientists engineers didn't do them because they were under tremendous pressure to finish the project, Allen said. The pressures, including cost overruns and time constraint, distracted those working on the mirror, he said. Also, some tests that had detected the error were considered unreliable at the time, he said. With 2020 hindsight, one would clearly say there was negligence, Allen said. We have to take into account the situation that actually existed, which is very important because, you know, you like to play the blame game and so those guys are idiots and, you know, huge time pressure to get this stuff done. So this was the investigative team's third and final visit to Hughes Danbury. The team will issue a final report on their findings as soon as possible. And this was AP from 1990. So, of course, we know they fixed the Hubble. And, of course, now we know they've got the James Webb telescope, which has even surpassed Hubble.
So,
but there's
now I have to retract my A-.
Uh-oh.
What would you give? What?
Even less?
No, I would give it an A+ now.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Why?
there you go.
Because when
You
I
love
get
this show too
corrected, I
much, you're
get
biased.
corrected. Well,
You
no,
love the
it's
show
not
so
that.
much.
It's
I know,
that
I'm teasing.
if
Just
I'm
kidding.
wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm wrong.
Oh, well, cool. I mean, look, hey, we'll allow it this time. You just once.
Yeah.
Like,
You can change your.
it happened in 1990. That's crazy. So now I have to change
Wow.
my grade.
The far-flung
Damn it,
future of
Mark.
1990.
Damn it, Mark. Yep.
God,
So
Actually, I should say, damn it, Fiona.
God damn it, Mark. Wait a minute. If we're going to do this, you know, I always say, you know, if you're going to do something, do it right. So, yeah, here you go.
Never that way.
God damn it, Mark. Jeez.
There we go.
So it is totally possible. It's not only is it possible, but it happened. So I have been informed, and I always admit when I'm wrong, and so I was wrong. I mean, I have to change it from an A- to an A+ now. So this episode, actually, that isn't a flaw. One could probably say that they'd hoped that Straker would be more diligent, but not only is it entirely realistic, but it's entirely realistic. So I'm going to change my grade to A++. This is a great episode with an incredible scientific message that turned out to actually happen. And
Wow, nice.
wow, so this is amazing. I need to read up on this, and I just learned something, and I am so grateful to all of you. This is effing awesome. Yeah.
And I thought the science was even cooler in this episode because of this reminded of the lunar orbiter, which mapped the moon. So, of course, you know, you're going to go land on the moon. And, of course, you know, it's not made out of cheese, but you got to find a good spot to land. So what they did in the 60s, they developed the lunar orbiter program to circle the moon and photograph the moon and plot out where they were going to land and you know, make a map. And of course it has all these famous pictures. Now this was kind of special to me because my dad worked on this project and he actually fixed the shutter for it. So one of the you know, his boss at the time said, you know, of course there's many people working on these things, but he said, well, the project never would have worked if it wasn't for, you know, for you or for my dad being able to fix it. And of course they had huge time constraints, so he didn't design it, but he was able to fix it. And I have all his notebooks and all his work, and I've got to scan it in. And I've got a friend who works at NASA, so I've got to get it to them so they can preserve that. So here's the lunar orbiter. I'm trying to find a picture of the satellite, which just, of course, it reminded me instantly when I saw that satellite. I said, "Oh, that looks just like the lunar orbiter." So there's one picture, but there's some pictures that are even later where it's showing the see if I can get to that. I'm looking for all the images
jump
that I
in
scanned.
here quickly while you're looking for that. Princess Fiona is having a discussion about whether or not catastrophic points of failure could be stopped at a number of stages. Princess Fiona, that was definitely my impression, because, you know, whenever I watch footage of NASA, and I will watch the launch, there are so many checks and there are so many cancellations of flight and cancellations of launch and things like that. So when in our modern times we think of especially in this age where we get to see everything, we really think of it as this massive team of technical people all making sure that these kinds of small mistakes don't happen, because there are billions at stake. And so, yeah, I had no idea. And I thought that it would be silly, because in my mind, I'm thinking about the team, right? So I'm so happy that this conversation went in this direction. This has been
Well done, Mark.
absolutely
Yeah.
delightful.
And Bruce Lombardo, buddy, what's up?
Hey,
Hey,
Bruce.
Good to see you, buddy.
Did you find it, Mark?
I did. So this is probably one of the better photos of. And of course, I got to get this on Blu-ray. I don't have great images, but here's, and look at it, and remind you exactly of mapping the orbit, and I'm sure these guys saw the satellite. Of course, that's some of the the satellite designs that you would use, but in terms of hey, let's pick something that we know, and we're gonna copy that. And the show, they were very much concerned about the science too when they were doing this, to make sure that it looked right. So so I just want to talk a little bit about the lunar orbiter, because why not?
Yes,
So,
please do.
And I'll show some pictures of the actual satellite. So what's famous about this, of course, is and this is these shots in the episode are so gorgeous. It just looks so great when they have they've got the moon. Here's the actual picture of the moon, and then you've got there's the it's kind of blurry because it's blown up with a low res image. It's just VGA, but it's just so well done. Doesn't it look real? And so here's the lunar orbiter photos, and what they did, they had actual physical rolls of film. This is before the internet, so my dad explained all this to me, how this all worked. And they would develop the film in strips and then send it down through radio frequency, quote unquote, kind of like an internet, back to the NASA listening posts, and they would print the pictures strip by strip. So that's why you can see the strips when the pictures are recreated. So his project was to work on the shutter. So I'll show this picture later in my office. But that's why you see these strips here. It's kind of like it's pasted together. And when we go back here to, then they recreated the photo. Oh, let's see. I have to go back arrow, I guess. There we go. I hate that when they don't open up in a new tab. This, what they did, they had a great project a few years ago, lunar recovery project. And what they did, they found the last machine, an AMP machine or AMP, that actually had the digital, could read these tapes, the digital tapes, or the tapes of all the data. There was only one. I think they actually went and worked in McDonald's. There's a fascinating article. They worked in McDonald's, so they said, well, they worked on in a closed McDonald's on a military base. So people kept coming up to the drive-through and asking for, because they saw people in there looking for fries and a burger, but they're like, no. It was just a crazy story, but they used this closed McDonald's. And if I find the article, I'll put in the chat after. And they recreated and rescanned. They had, they have all the original data on tape. So this is, with the data, this is what it would look like now, reconstructed with computers and high res printing. So that's gorgeous. So this was called Earthrise. It's probably one of the most famous pictures ever.
I put it on Saturday Night Star Trek.
Yeah.
The intro extra that I made for Clubby, those are all in the public domain because they're NASA photos. So I have the Earthrise, and isn't it an amazing, amazing visual?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. And now my dad always said that this picture was taken by accident. Can't corroborate that, but he as he was working on the project, he's working on the shutter, and the shutter would intermittently fire. He told me there were stray electrical signals throughout the spacecraft. They actually didn't, talking about errors, they said they didn't have time to fix that. They said, he got everything working on his project, which was the shutter, but they couldn't fix that. He told them, he said, well, if we have more time, exactly what these guys said, if we have more time, we could fix it, but you might take some random pictures that are not part of the mission, but you know, it's still going to work. So he always told me he thought that picture was an accident. I've read other things which said it wasn't an accident; they planned it out. But he always assumed this was an accidental picture.
That's a
but
cool
it's one
story.
of the so it's one of the most famous, you know, pictures in history. And let me put this link in, but you can see, you know, more on the Lunar Orbiter program. And this is the recovery project that digitized all the images. So
All the images, yeah.
which is really cool. So I'll put these links in. I'm going to show some, and I'll show some pictures of the
I also want
actual
to
orbiter.
take a second here to interject. I'm so sorry, Mark. I just want to thank Princess Fiona and Larry for
Yes,
keeping the science fiction conversation going in the chat. You guys, I'm eating up every single word. It is most enjoyable to read everything that you folks are talking about, and I appreciate it so much. I just love it. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate it big time.
Thank you. It's great. Yeah. So yeah, this is just great, and this just episode just brought back the science to me of all this with
yeah, right.
you
of
know,
course,
about
this.
how, and
Yeah,
because
right.
it looks so the satellite looks so
Mhm.
realistic. Yep.
So this
So if you
episode
could,
would be very special to you, right, Mark?
yeah, no, I
Yeah,
was like,
so
wow, this is
cool.
awesome. So
Yeah.
here's how they, you know, the perspective of taking that picture. And of
Mhm.
course, Dad, I know he always says it's an accident, but this is actually, you know, the orbiter, how it's looking, and that's, you know, so it's actually the picture is sideways, technically. Well, I
Okay.
guess it depends what's relative in space, right? I guess so. You know, that's the orientation. That's this is the moon and the orbit.
Wait a second here. Fiona is a physicist?
Yes. She
Oh
mentioned that
my
before.
Oh my God. I am so happy that you're joining us. Thank you for being here. Oh my God.
That's why I'm glad that you and Mark are here, because I'm such a dumbass. I don't deserve anyone that smart in the audience, but you two are brilliant. So you're both geniuses, an engineer and a scholar. So I didn't make
honey.
Fiona. I didn't make it past third. Well, I didn't get to third grade. I maybe got the fourth. Well, third. I'm not sure, but somewhere around there. But these two, hey.
Oh,
Anyway,
don't say that.
Listen, on behalf of Princess Fiona, Mark, and me, we love you. And don't say that about yourself.
I'm the
all
captain.
three of us are sending you shin kicks.
Yeah, but I don't rank you. I'm the captain, so I get to choose. I get to call me stupid. But anyway, she is amazing. She's awesome.
I'm not surprised, given her diction and given her content. So it's such a pleasure to have another scholar here. It's great to have you and your additions, and you taking the time to explain these concepts to everyone and just making it so interesting and fun. It's just delightful. I'm so honored that you're with us. Thank you for joining us. I mean, you could be doing anything with your time, and yet you're here. So, I doff my cap to you. Thank you.
Yeah, you could be doing science. Just kidding. No,
yes.
Thank you for being here. Yeah.
Well, I should be writing, right? So, but I'm here because I love you too, and I can't get enough of you. And now we're sucking Fiona in.
Yes.
Right. So. Let me show some pictures. Then you guys will get a kick out of this. I'm trying to find a couple of things here, but I'm finding some PDFs I have. But you'll get a kick out of this. So here we go with some pictures of Mark as a kid.
SP4H.
Hey, SP4H. Nice to see you.
Good, Mark. Sorry about that.
Oh no, all good. Yep. Hell,
you know me. I like to be a good host and greet everybody that comes.
Oh yeah, no, that's very. So this is just visiting the Sea Air Space Museum. I can't remember what capsule that is. Is that
that's one from Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, that's one from Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Not a Mercury. No. It's too bad. I don't know if that's an Apollo.
That's the Icarus.
Yeah.
It was the piece of it. Just kidding.
Piece of it. Yep.
I believe it doesn't look anything like that in the movie. I'm just saying that in Escape they used it. Sorry, but Escape from Planet of the Apes. Sorry.
So here's the original picture, and then when they redid it with that project, here's one of the scans.
That's what Tony Nelson used in Genie. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, right. Maybe. Yeah. I dream of Genie. Yeah. So here's one of the scans of that original
Beautiful.
photo.
Absolutely beautiful.
There's another one of Earthrise. So I actually have some of these original prints, or not prints, they're photos that I found that Dad had. So I got to get some more of these framed, but some of these I do have because he worked on the project. So I have printouts on a show where they gave some of these out. So this is and that's the scale below. It's tough to see, I'm sure, coming through on the interwebs. So that's another one of the Earthrise pictures, more of a distance from the project.
So beautiful.
But just back then too, it was just what's on the moon, what's on the dark side of the moon, because the way the moon rotates, we're in synchronous. The orbits are synchronized, so we never see the dark side of the moon. But the dark side of the moon does get sun. That's a misnomer. So there's my dad. We went down to Florida. Was Johnson Space Center in Florida?
I think so.
My brain.
Hey, Admiral Tig. What's up, Admiral?
Good evening.
So he's there with the lunar orbiter. And what was fun was then he started talking. He was explaining everything about it. He was like a kid in a candy store again. And of course, then one of the people in the museum overheard him. He said, "Oh, I worked on this," and he was explaining everything about it. So it was kind of, that back then you didn't have cell phones with video. It would have been great to have a video of him, actually talking about this and explaining everything. But that was because it's an important satellite in terms of, you got to, the glamorous part is, landing on the moon, but then you've got to have all these people, almost like the episode tonight. I was thinking that scientist or that engineer, hey, Admiral Teague, that his project ended up being just as important. Some of the small grittier
and very
stuff.
unglamorous. I've read about how there's an outcry about how we're leaving our poop and stuff on the moon, and people are starting to question whether or not we should have brought back our poop because we're contaminating space, we're contaminating the moon. And so there are lots of very unglamorous aspects of science, and that's the key to this episode. This episode is saying, science is unglamorous, and nerds do stuff that no one really wants to talk about because it's boring. And if you neglect your nerds, then you never get to the glamorous stage of science.
Right. So this is, of course, this is me. I guess I'm in high school there. I still have plenty of hair, which is nice, and my two sisters and dad, and then they had a nice breakaway of the satellite, which is pretty cool, actually. I still remember being there. It was very cool to hang out there, and this is a very young me. This is another picture. I just have a folder with a bunch of these pictures, so I'll flip through because a lot of these are duplicates.
Terrific.
And that's the the image we looked at, how they took that photo. That's another version of it. That's it's just so cool, so amazing. It shows you how insignificant we are in that universe. That Apollo 8 mission, when they as they read Genesis, going around the dark side of the moon, and just the desolation of space, and then all of a sudden you've got this big green marble or blue marble right in the middle, teeming with life. It's just amazing. So there's another picture of the satellite,
the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy. Douglas Adams.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, they filed the projects at Alpha Centauri years ago. You had plenty of
5
time.
years, the Vogons, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The plans have been on display, but never mind.
Yeah. So don't read his Vogon poetry, but this just shows the satellite kind of. I saw that, I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like like the satellite used in UFO. So I'm just flip through. There's just some more NASA pictures. And this we went later. That's the Smithsonian, Washington, D.C. So they've got the satellite hanging hanging up there. And of course, that's my favorite museum. Of course, they have the Enterprise model there. That's the Spirit of St. Louis up there on the ceiling, and Bell X1, the top right. Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier. There's more of the same pictures.
Hey, Sean Carter, thank you so much again. Appreciate you. That's true. Yep, I was thinking of that myself. I just didn't say it. Thank you. That's a poop question, sir. It was an episode of Enterprise, a show I love, where the school class of students were given questions to ask the crew, and Archer, they were recording the message to send back, and Archer gives the question of what they do with their waste, basically. And, freeze it for a second. A poop question, sir? I get the poop. Well, you're the engineer.
Yeah, he was so disappointed. He was so heartbroken. He wanted to be asked something very difficult, and instead it was, what do you do with all the poo?
I love Trip. Thank you for that, Sean Carter. Appreciate that. I love Trip. He was my favorite character other than Archer. Him and Archer.
Yeah, Larry. Yeah, that's the Moonlander surveyor. Yep.
Well, actually, the Offspring's favorite character, Captain.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't
the
love
Offspring?
Trip?
The Offspring has the hubba hubba for that.
For
character.
Trip?
There you go.
He's the only one. I haven't got to meet too many of the Enterprise people, and he's the only one I got. I think he's the only one I've been able to meet so far. Connor Trenier. Yeah, I love him. He's great.
Yeah. Connor.
Well, actually, one of the astronauts actually was a Gemini. Was it Alan Cooper? One of the astronauts. They were stuck in the capsule so long. I think it was the Mercury program or the first launches, or not. What was name doesn't matter, but I had asked permission, can I pee in the suit? And all the engineers were going over like, okay, it's okay to pee.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I pee in the suit?
Yeah. And this is my office here. So of course I've got the Lego Saturn V. You have to have that if you like space, or you can't not have that. And there's the picture that we've had for years in our office from my dad. Got that from working on the project. So it looks a little bit better from that angle. It's just but that's an actual image that was given to people that worked on it, and I've had that frame for years. And of course, when I bought the Saturn V, I said, "Oh, that's perfect spot." And here's a little. I donated to Reboot the Suit, where they redid Neil Armstrong's suit. So that's a little card from. Can't really tell, but in that lower left-hand corner behind the edges.
Step.
Yeah, they had to fix it.
Yeah,
they had to fix the suit was decaying. It was falling apart, and the moon dust wasn't kind to it either.
Yeah.
So there's so that makes a nice display at my office. So
I don't remember, Sean. It's been so long since I watched The Right Stuff, and remember, I'm a nerd, so I have to ask the geeks, and let's ask the grand poobah of all of geekdom, Captain. What year did The Right Stuff come out?
1983. I remember that movie had was so long and had intermissions back then, and I just I went and see it a couple different times, even though it was a very long film. And the beautiful score by was it Bill Conti? Was it? And what a great cast! God, I love that movie, man.
Yeah, it's a great movie. That's an amazing movie.
Yeah. And then here is Hungry Boy still around?
I don't know.
Because I want to show him my artwork. See, look at my artwork. I did that as like an 8-year-old kid. I mean, the perspective is maybe a little bit off.
He's going to get a chuckle out of that.
I mean, I don't know. Who do you think where do you think I would have fit on the tripwire list? Do you think I would have made
maybe the top
right? Maybe the top 20. I think this. I forgot one of the landing gear here. I think in the back, but maybe my perspective is a little
top 30, maybe.
Top 30, yeah.
Okay, maybe 60. Let's be honest.
You're getting
maybe
some
I should be ahead of
above George Perez.
I should be ahead of McFarlane, right? At least.
Yes, you should. Everyone should.
So I had to put that up next to that picture. Oh, Hungry Boy, here he goes. Top 30 for sure.
He thinks you're almost as good as Mike Allred.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And he loves Mike Allred.
The flag is backwards. Yeah. Well, the wind was blowing that way in the moon at the time, Fiona. Okay, that's why it was going that way. Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna rover you. Somebody rover Mark.
You didn't see the wind? Can't you see the wind there?
Mark, I'm gonna rover you.
And there's my dad with that. Yeah, we had that in our house for years too. Yeah. And
Nice.
there's some fun. I just threw some NASA pictures in there, so that's me with
Aw,
one of the Apollo.
I had that same stupid outfit. Was that Toughnicks?
I don't know, but
I
yeah,
had that same
coveralls,
stupid
yeah.
outfit. I'm pretty sure that was Toughnicks. You got that at
Ro-
Sears.
rocking those.
I had that same ugly outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had that ugly outfit. I think that was Toughnicks. Your parents got that at Sears.
There was styling back then. Wow, I mean that was doesn't get much better than that, right? Yeah, that's me. So we visited that satellite. I guess when I was a little kid, was there a couple of different times. Of course, Dad loved not everything
Where's that
NASA
at?
and space.
Huntsville?
That's this is Florida. I think it's a Johnson Space Center. I think.
Okay. Because Fiona asked
I would
if that was Huntsville or not.
I think it's Florida, guys. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have to.
Huntsville.
There's no GPS back then on
You
the
know what they had in Huntsville, right?
What did they have there? No.
In 1996, they had the 30th anniversary of Star Trek, the original series, at NASA. A buddy of mine got to go to it.
Yeah.
The entire cast was there.
Yeah.
He got to go there. Oh man, imagine getting to go to that thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Donnie's got
would've
it.
been
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Johnson is Johnson is Houston. Kennedy's Florida. Yeah, it's Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah. I don't know why I was saying Johnson. Yeah.
Roger.
Hungry Boy thinks I look like Jodie Foster. So I guess she's very cute. I guess that's a compliment. I guess.
Okay. Wow. Wowzer. Okay. Okay. All right. Sure. Okay.
Oh
There you
boy,
go.
it's funny.
So, but thank you for indulging me for a few minutes. I just thought.
No,
I'd
thanks for
show
showing
no.
the pictures. Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thought
for
it'll be
sharing.
fun.
That was
cool.
wonderful.
Oh,
That was
yeah. Very in
absolutely
line.
wonderful.
And very in line with what we're doing.
Yeah. So I figured whenever I see satellites, I'm like, oh, this. And I just love what was so nice about this episode too is they don't gloss over the science and they talk to the researchers and the engineers and they're, Gay Ellis has that scene, where she's disagreeing with Straker, and it would have been interesting to see some more of those scenes too. But it was. That's why I love the show because they don't go for that flashy pew pew pew. Although you do have the interceptors with the rockets, but there's it's all very science based and people make fun of the Anderson and their puppets, but those are some of the best special effects. I think that's why as kids, I love that series, the Thunderbirds so much because it looks so damn real. They're puppets, but you kind of forget that they're puppets because the vehicles are just so well done. It's just a joy to watch that. It's just so.
I don't think I could ever
so
do the
special.
puppets, but I will tell you this. After, you guys already know that I already watched Space 1999, but after discovering UFO, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was made available in Canada, I have so much respect for the Andersons. The puppet stuff would never appeal to me. I'm not passing any judgment on it because I would never do that. I respect everything that you love, Mark. But it just wouldn't appeal to me. Just like, I don't like rom-coms. It's like that, right? It doesn't appeal to me. Nothing wrong with it. But I'm like Clubby, it doesn't matter how many times I rewatch UFO, I am struck by the fact that these people did those puppet shows and the whole time they had this in their back pocket and they had the ability to make this high level science fiction, cerebral, respectable, unpredictable, non-formulaic, engrossing, sexy to look at science fiction. It's pretty remarkable. I'm like Clubby every time I rewatch this. That I just can't believe it. They're very, very talented people.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And by the way, welcome to Dr. Mordecai Cassius Marcellus Jones. That's a mouthful there.
Wow.
Good to see you. Once the land of what?
Almost as long as Hungry Boy's name.
Yeah, well, we don't do any politics here, so I'll thank you for stopping by nonetheless. It's good to see you.
Oh, Sean, I love you,
What?
sweetheart.
What happened?
I just love this person. Sean Carter says, thank you, everyone, with superfluous exclamation points. He says, I
Oh,
just hit 250. He means his subs, and he
Awesome.
says, tears are flowing.
cool.
We are all sending out a big, warm hug. Congratulations. You certainly deserve it. You are just such a great guy, Sean Carter. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Yeah,
Congrats. Yeah, well done. Well, you've
absolutely.
got
We
some good
appreciate you,
videos.
man.
So
Good
glad
luck.
people.
Yep, good luck. Yep, that's fantastic. Thank you all. Please, if you haven't subscribed to Sean, he's a cool dude. We appreciate him. So, yep, absolutely.
Oh, and Snail Messiah is asking me. I think it updates day by day. So if I get a
What?
bunch of watch hours today, he's asking how many watch hours I have. Because I was down. I needed just 30 more hours. But I think it only updates.
They don't need the same amount. You don't need 1,000 subs anymore.
No, I guess I don't know if it's just a beta thing or you can do memberships and super chats and on your
That's
channel.
monetization.
Yeah, but then once you hit 1,000, you can get page ads, I guess. So I guess you have another level. So I'm guessing they just changed, or maybe they're rolling it out. But I was surprised when I saw that this morning.
Probably because it's tougher to get subs these days, unless you do things.
Well, I've never been going for subs. I've never wanted to have a channel. I've never wanted to be monetized. But I will tell you that I am pissed off. Sorry for using profanity on air.
Sorry?
I don't agree with using profanity on air, but because of the weird YouTube policy, if you signed up through your university, which I did, I was not able to switch my YouTube channel over to a Gmail account because it didn't accept the alternate channel through their brand mechanism. So I lost my 9.5-year YouTube account. It's gone.
Wow.
So my options were I could leave it drifting forever, and that would not make sense because what if people made random or crazy comments, like bots and stuff like that. So I couldn't leave it.
So you couldn't edit it anymore, basically, right?
Yeah, and so I didn't believe that was true because it sounds insane, right? It's like
it does,
imagine if you signed up for Facebook, but you used a Hotmail account. And then one day you decided that you didn't want that Hotmail account anymore, so you wanted to change it to Gmail. And Facebook said, "Well, we're sorry, you're going to have to go and ask Hotmail for permission." But you've actually already closed down the account with Hotmail.
Yeah.
How do you get into the Facebook to change it? So this was the position that YouTube put me in and put my university in. So I actually had to contact, and it was escalated to the upper echelons of the tech support at my university. It's a top 100 university. How ridiculous. And I was informed, that they would be turning it on so that I could make the decision to try and move it over as a brand or delete it. And
they let you do that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they turned it on.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they turned it on temporarily. I went over and I learned through the tech people how to move it through that brand mechanism. And obviously no alternate channels were available. And so because of that, and no alternate IDs were available. And so I was so angry and worried that I was going to lose permission to access the account that I just decided to do what I had to do, which is to delete it. But my YouTube account was almost 10 years old.
Oh, so but you could have transferred it to another YouTube account, but you didn't have another YouTube account, or you had to create. Oh, they wanted you to create a brand new YouTube account, I guess, and then transfer it to that.
Well, no. In order to be able to interact through a Google account on YouTube, you have to have a channel. So I did do that, and I made that other channel the manager. But when you go into the provisioning of the brand mechanism, so what you do is you brand the channel, and then what can happen is then they'll transfer it over. They don't make any promises that all of the material, all the content will make it over in the transfer, but it should be readily available. When I went to go and do it, obviously due to the age of the account or whatever is happening with the coding of that platform, it wasn't an available option for me. And I knew that because I had tried that previously when the university had its grace period to move everything over to another account. But just I obviously, due to the age of the account, it wasn't
Well,
in the
thanks,
provisioning.
yeah.
It wasn't even a part of the permissions. So I lost my nearly 10-year YouTube account.
Damn.
Well, that's horrible. Yep, that stinks.
Wow. That sucks. That's horrible. Sorry.
But you guys, doesn't that sound like the dumbest thing you've ever heard? Like, I'm a comp tech scholar. I think that might be the
There's a
dumbest
lot of
thing I've
tech
ever heard.
stuff that is really I've had problems like that in tech. I can't say exactly. I'm trying to remember, but I've had some silly things where companies change over, or companies get bought out, or things
Yeah,
don't work. You can't change
still, we're talking
usernames.
about YouTube. When you sign up
Yeah.
for YouTube, you're signing up for your own terms of service and your own terms of use. So you are a YouTube user. The fact that you can't go into your own account and change the default email is one of the most insane things I've ever heard. And I admonished Team YouTube on my Twitter and said that to them, like, how ridiculous is this? This is
can't
absolutely
just transfer it. Yeah, they can't
it's
just
absolutely
transfer it.
absurd. If you're using your real name, which I am, and you have a verified account and you're moving it to a verified email, there is no reason why a user of any platform on the internet cannot change their email. It's absolutely the most insane thing I've ever heard. Like, who's doing their code? Like, is this GeoCities? Is that where we are? Like, are we at ICQ level here with YouTube? Like, you can't change your email. You have to brand your account and then transfer the content over to the branded account. What? What? Like, anyway, like, like, did you stop taking computer science in like 1993 or something? What's going on with you? So yeah, it's just YouTube, epic fail. And I laughed and laughed and laughed, and then I was filled with rage because I lost I was just a few months shy of 10 years having that channel.
Wow, that sucks. That's horrid.
Just
well,
ridiculous.
I tell you what. That's
I had a couple other things. I know I don't want to keep everyone too long.
Roll Tide. Well, I mean,
Roll Tide.
You got something? What you got?
Yeah, I got. So I wanted to show because we were talking about that. I forgot I had some other PDFs. Just a couple.
I guess we don't have to get to the other.
Oh,
go ahead.
So hopefully it won't take too long. But just since people maybe hopefully you'll find it interesting. But that's just some of my dad's notebooks and things. I forgot to show it. So
it's kind of Star Wars, but we don't have to. Everyone else probably has. So what the hell? So go ahead.
Yeah. So here's just some newspaper clipping, which is kind of cool that my mom and dad had clipped, I guess, showing how the lunar orbiter would work. You know, the launch and the separation and how it would launch, and then actually get into orbit around the Earth, and how the data would get transmitted back, and then would be processed back and reassembled. So just a nice. It's cool to have some of these. I won't. Not going to read the article, but that was pretty fun to see. Then going through all the files and trying to find these, see what was in there to document this, because I love history. So so they're talking about just the programming of this and how it can how much data it can store. It's almost nothing. Just in terms of the computing power. Probably my watch has more computing power, but it's just talking about the how the orbiter problems it was having, and how it was scanning the image. So it's just amazing tech back then. And of course you're in a rush to get to the moon, so you're just racing to get this project to work, and you have to get everything's got to come in together too. You can't you can't have one project. You might have the Saturn V working, but unless you know where to land, it's not happening unless the space suit is working. So there's just some memos just documenting this. It's just, there's my dad there and stuff. So it's just amazing stuff. Reading, all the reports about this, and here's some of his notebook too. So this is, some of the experiments back then. This is more sciencey stuff, but just, everything was hand done. I just figured I'd show a couple of things, but just, graphing things. There was no, there were no computers back then. There was no, so you had to do all your work by hand. There's no Microsoft Excel, and just, experimenting and trying to figure out what was wrong with the shutter. So these are all measurements, and then I'll just scroll down real quick. Hopefully I'm not boring people too much. But
graphs. Here's Lisa
graphs. This is sciencey stuff, but there are a couple of pictures there. I just wanted to see if I get to the so they used here's some pictures showing the noise in the instrumentation there. So it's just all the work that goes into trying to figure these things out. So this is just his his notebook here. So so this is part of the stuff that I've been scanning. I gotta give to my friend at NASA because they save all this stuff. Yep.
Good to see you.
I see Hungry Boy likes it. See, he says brain blasting stuff. Yep.
Yeah, Princess Fiona. I've been on the internet for 28 years, but I had a rather impecunious childhood, to put it mildly. Abject poverty. But I was in a gifted program for kids when we lived in the government projects. And they had a room where you were allowed to go in and use computers. So I believe the first year that I started using a computer was 1982 or 1983. And all the first Apple products, but only through school. It wasn't something that I could afford for myself. I come from very, very, very modest means, to put it politely. So I didn't get online until 1995, but in 1995 it pretty much became like a full-time thing for me. I was instantly immersed in it. I took it in university, and then I was like, I need to do this all the time. So there for Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 and whatever the future brings.
There you go. Yeah.
So thank you for indulging me there for a few minutes, guys.
No problem.
I figure hungry boy liked it. So, but just all the.
I just don't understand that stuff. You know that. This is a geek show.
Well,
so.
I don't understand most of it either, but
sure you do.
But it's just fascinating to read. Read all the work that went into that, just for just for one part of the project. So that's being duplicated out, across all the different programs. So when Straker came up, he said, "Oh, we've got to spend $1.6 billion, whatever it was, for that satellite." It made sense too, just in terms of all the manpower, woman power it would take to get that job done. So
yes, indeed.
Oh,
Mark G,
thank you, Princess.
Thank you
Fiona. Yep.
so much for showing us all this. What a fantastic stream! Oh, thank you too much. Thank you so much, there, Fiona. It's these two that make it fantastic, and they are the best. Well, let's see here. I know it's a school night, Raquel. So
it is. If it were not a school night, I would stay here all evening, as we used to do when this wasn't public. When we used to just sit around shooting the breeze, just the three of us. But it's a school night. It's going to be a very early morning, and so I got to get. But I don't want to.
That's okay. Just go ahead with your closing words, and we'll start moseying on out of here.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat this evening. What a marvelous conversation, and some beautiful information. Great conversations, great information, wonderful exchanges. I hope you had a marvelous time tonight. I enjoyed your company immensely, and it's such a gratifying thing to be in this position. You know, a great honor and a great pleasure to host, co-host with these marvelous conversations. Thank you so much, everyone. I also want to thank all of the wrenches. Thank you so much for making this community the very best it can be. And you all have to be told by me, because he won't say it himself. Please follow Mark. He's quite humble, and I have been bullying him for quite a while, actually, since we've been friends, to up his game and get himself out there. So not only will his channel grow, but so that he can get some commissions to make gorgeous things. So can you all do that for me, please? Can you find a way to support him, even if you're just sharing his work and sharing his channel? Because, you know, I know times are tough and it can be financially difficult for folks, but he is worth following. He is worth every minute of your time. He has a Patreon, he has a YouTube, and he has a Twitter. Please connect with Mark. Marvelous human being. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Clobby. Clobby, you are one of the best friends I've ever had in this entire lifetime, this crazy, lonely, weird world, this crazy life we all have. Thank you for bringing us all together, for giving us this space so that we can be nerdy, we can be geeky, and we can have fun exchanging information, laughing, and having a good time. I love you very much, and I am so grateful to you. And I think that's about that. I've talked enough. I'm going to be quiet now.
Oh, well, thank you so much for those wonderful words. Thank you for being here. You always make it so great, and we love you. And I just have so much fun hanging out with the two of you, my two best buddies. So, Mark, final closing words, bro.
Well, thank you
Chief
so much,
engineer.
everyone. Thank you. Yeah, this is a great fun tonight. Yeah, glad everyone loved the show, and thank you for giving the space and Clobbering Times and bringing everyone together. And thank you, Raquel, for those kind words. And I put your Patreon in before mine, so check that out. And also here, let me put the link for the Clubhouse Discord.
Oh, did you put it? I didn't see it. Oh, there we go.
Should be there.
There's that's your Patreon, and where's Raquel's?
Raquel's is there too, and then and then also the Clubhouse Discord.
It's in there. Okay, good. Oh, okay,
it's in there.
Hey, Oliver Belamonte, good to see you.
Dave!
What about Dave? Oh, Dave's.
Nothing. I just love him. I always tease him whenever I see him somewhere. It started out naturally. Like, he was in some chats, and I was like guesting on other shows, and so, you know, you feel like a fish out of water. You're away from your crew, and Dave would show up, and I would just feel like a part of my crew was there, so I'd yell, "Dave!"
Brian Hepburn.
And it stuck.
Brian Hepburn's here. Hey, buddy. I don't know if I saw
Thanks,
you.
Brian Hepburn, one of my patrons. Thank you to Brian Hepburn and Shooter, and thank you everyone. You know, if you do
stop, Dave.
You can't do that.
Stop.
You can't do that.
Don't do that, Dave.
Don't do that, Dave.
So, but you can sub to my channel, Dave. No, but yeah, appreciate everyone watching, and hopefully I'll get those extra 30 watch hours. So, thanks to everyone tonight. So, if you just watch one of my playlists, and in my defense now, I just got to prove I don't just eat clam pizza. So here's pizza we made tonight, homemade pizza. It's not bad.
Green crap all over it.
Oh, the green crap.
Yeah.
So that's homemade pizza. So it's homemade pizza. So my kids decided to. I made it in the cast iron. So I made it in the cast iron frying pan. Italian frying. No, the left side is okay, not the right side. I didn't make that one. I didn't make that one.
And they're tiny. Tomatoes. Freaking tomato. What the hell are you making there? That doesn't look like that looks like a amoeba, not a pizza.
I knew.
What tomato sauce?
You had to know this was going to happen to you. So funny.
Jesus. That's okay, right? That's acceptable.
Okay. Just cheese, and that was mine.
That
was my pizza that I made. Yeah, just cheese and sauce.
Flour. I made a pizza tonight too, but it looked normal. On pita bread.
Admiral Teague.
I made it on pita bread. It's a horda. There you go. Artie
Oh
choke.
God, my
The Horta.
stomach hurts.
It might choke Artie, but it ain't gonna
That
choke
sounds like the
Tiny.
Horta, that one.
Oh
I
dear,
love Sean's reaction.
Yikes! It does look like a Star Trek alien.
Oh,
Yeah, it
God.
does. My kids made that one. Mine was the frying pan one. So I'm not
Yeah.
taking credit for the Horta pizza.
Oh God.
But it's
Well, I
fun to
made a
make
pretty good
pizza
pizza.
at home. I mean, it's fun stuff, right?
Oh God. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yes. I like going to lit pizza. Though. I gotta get me out there.
Oh,
Very
But
nice.
thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes, I
thank you,
thought
Dave.
we
Thank
always
you.
have so much fun here. Just great to be able to hang out
Indeed,
and joke
yes,
with
sir.
everyone about this
and
stuff.
Larry and Princess Fiona, like tonight. Wow, just stoking that fire and got everyone all fired up, talking about science fiction and science. Ah, so
Great stuff.
good. I want to give you both gold stars. Gold stars, Larry, and Princess Fiona. Anyway.
Indeed, isn't. Well, okay, show notes, and then we'll do some shout outs, and then we'll run. Oh yeah, tomorrow night, of course, I'll be on with the great Nick Weiser and the gang over there. My good buddy Nick on his great channel, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. With the Friday night comic shop talk, boys, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think it's just an open geek show tomorrow night. I think the next week will be his 100th. Number 100 of Comic Shop Talk, if I remember right. So last week we reviewed the X-Men Teen Titans crossover. This week I don't know if we'll review anything or we'll just do some basic comic talk. So looking forward to that. And of course, Saturday night Star Trek is on. Same Trek time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're beginning. We're beginning season 7 of Star Trek Deep Blue Nine with 4 episodes reviewed by myself and the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, the great Commander R.M. Briggs. Sunday night, I don't know if he mentioned it or not, but the great Mark D with a C has Sunday night. I need to make one of these for Sunday Night Geekery so I could show it. I'll make one. I'll do
Thank
it.
you.
Just so I can show. I need stuff like that. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, just so I could let everyone know, show a picture of where we are.
Appreciate it.
Yes, 10 p.m. Eastern. If you have not joined us for Mark's channel for Geekery on Sunday nights, you come by and hang out. I know it's late, but start end the week right, because you just gotta. Oh well, actually, this is a 3-day weekend this week, so for a lot of people. So yeah,
it's a long weekend.
Memorial Day, yeah. So, and then Monday I will be at my great buddy J Man's channel. We are reviewing all of the Legion of Superheroes appearances in order from 58 to 89, silver through bronze, the only ones that count. And with J Man on his channel with our good buddy Decepticon as well. So it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. And then, of course, after that, my show, Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll review a comic, the first appearance of the Defenders, modular feature number 1, and then a special bonus comic that's such a secret, even I don't know what it is. Because I don't know what it is yet, because I haven't picked it. Yeah, so that's why. That's why I don't know what it is, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not even making it up. I actually don't know. So, all right, shout outs to our wonderful, first, of course, our fantastic wrenches. The great Eric K, he's hopefully he's recovering and getting better. We love you, brother, the bronze wrencher. We wish you the best, buddy. Hope you're getting better, man. He had to run, but we always shout out whether they're here or not. The great Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrench of the North. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth. Avon lives long, live the Legion. To the God and Goddess of Wrenches. The Wrench Without Fear, my partner in crime on Earth B. We haven't forgotten Earth B. There will be another Earth B in June, second week of June. J-Man, the Wrench Without Fear, and fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire. Creator of the Club Hungry Boy. Kal-El, Super Wrench Supreme. Maddie's Daddy, Thor and Vegas. and the Fanty Outsider, of course, and our own music meister, Max Redstone. And okay, let's see. Let's just say some goodbyes to our wonderful friends in the chat. We'll do this really quickly. Ezra Goldstein, Shalom, good to see you again. Princess Fiona, it is so lovely to have you. You've been fantastic. We really appreciate you. Gwagnar. Larry. Oh, so long time no see, Kimasabi. Good to see you, buddy. Sean Carter, thank you so much. Let's see here. Dave C. Thank you. Admiral T. Good to see you, buddy. Enjoyed hanging out with you the other night. Mr. Angel, Chef. The wonderful Janet from another planet. Love you, Janet. Popped in earlier. Sorry, someone got distracted. Someone's trying to contact me. Oh no, never mind. All right. My phone was blasting. Let's see here. I'm gonna get everybody. Snail Messiah. Yay. Goodness, thank you so much, Brian Hepburn, Oliver Belamonte, Donnie Pearson, Bush Pan Down, Fletcher Williams. Good to see you, my friend. Don't worry, we're gonna get everybody. I'm gonna play the game. We're just gonna get them all. Get you all, because Lisa, the lovely Lisa, was here. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Let's see. Don't worry, that's just vamping music, folks. Don't want to miss anybody. Money party home. I know there are more. There are more, folks. Trust me. I know there are more. Don't you think there are more?
Yes.
There's got to be more. Yep.
Got to be more.
I'm just going to have some Gorn quiche while I wait.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that Gorn should be counting these off from now? I shall not be merciful to any of you humans.
Ouch.
Seriously? That is such a great. Oh, that's the best Gorn. That may be better than the original Gorn.
I wouldn't go that far, human, but thank you very much. SPH4, thank you for being here.
Ouch. Bruce Lombardo. See, I told you there was somebody else. It takes me a second, everybody, but I like to get everybody. Matthew Pounder, Matt G was here, I believe, as well, right? Am I right? Right. Money party home. It's gonna take longer than I thought. So I think we're gonna call it, because there's so many more folks. I hope I did not miss anybody. But sometimes that happens because I can't see everybody who popped in. And but I know if I got Dave C, right? Yeah, I got Dave, but I got him again now. So see, there you go. I already got the wrenches. I think I'm gonna go out on a limb. And if I missed anybody, all I can do is apologize. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who lurked, all you lurkers out there. Cannot thank you enough. I know I don't thank you enough, and I should. And also everyone listening on a download or a rewatch or repeat. Mazerus was here. Hey, Mazerus. I thank you. Grim was here. Zathras was here. See? Told you guys there were more. WDW Pro stopped in. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. And
Scuba Pete.
Oh, Scuba, and they call him Scuba Pete. That's right. See, and Wes Moody. Hey, Wes Moody. Thanks for popping in, Wes. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. X, and Jill, Antiderivative Jill was here. And Michael Beacom and Cassandra. See, the way back. You got to go way back.
Yeah.
Find them all. Thank you all so much. My memory's Garbaggio. But I try. Sander Hammerslag. Sander, what is wrong with you? You said the words Blake 7. Now I got to go watch a Blake 7 episode. That's how bad I am.
Rob Altus was here the whole time.
Was he?
Rob Altus.
Rob Altus, what's up, buddy?
Oh, no, he might not have been here the whole time. He said, I'm here just saying good night. So he may or may not have been here the whole time. But Rob,
he might have been lurking.
Rob, absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sander, now I've got to go watch a Blake 7 episode just because you mentioned it. I do that whenever I get reminded of it. I just go watch one. That bad. Okay, now I know we've got everybody. There's no way. All right, Mark, call it. There's no way, right? That there's anybody left.
Maybe one more person. I'd probably not.
One?
Yeah, it's got to be one. There's always one that.
Okay.
There's got to be one. And I know you said
You're
Dad
right.
Man before,
Dad
right?
Man.
Dad Man and the Dad Man clan.
There we go.
And another one could not be reached for further comment. All right. So now, Mr. Smarty Pants, do you think there's no one?
Mr. Smarty Pants engineer.
Yeah.
Claude Salling. Did we get Claude Salling?
Claude Salling. See, there you go. Number one. How about Mighty Orbots? Hey.
Mighty Orbots.
Look, you guys, you should be appreciated for being here. And I just got to shout you out. I love doing it. I know it's annoying to you probably, but well, also love annoying people. So that's a bonus. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have to, I just feel like shouting people out because I like doing that. And I want you to, know that you're important to me being here. Really are.
Oh, we appreciate everyone being here. I mean, you could be watching, sports ball or sports puck or, watching another channel or watching TV. So we really appreciate it. And everyone, and everyone's engaged too. They're not only just watching, they're in the chat commenting and have, conversations back and forth. And, that takes a lot too. We appreciate that too, because sometimes you put a show on, you're just kind of like a regular TV show, you're just kind of sitting there, it's in the background, maybe you're reading a magazine or something at the same time, but you guys are so engaged for the whole time. It's really amazing, really appreciated. And sometimes we miss something in the chat because there's just so many people and it's flying through. I know try to read as much of it as I can and hate to miss anything, but Raquel's probably the best at reading all the chats and not missing anything, but really, really appreciate it. And it's really love all that. And that's what makes YouTube special, right? Because you can, it's not a one-way thing. We've got a community here and hanging out with us, and it's a give and take. So thank you everyone for all those nice comments tonight.
Masters Maniac Mexico MMM.
Mm-hmm.
See, we don't want to miss anybody. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yep.
And so it looks like Dr. Herky Monkey did join the other day, but we'll and Master of the TDS. All right, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I think we finally got everybody.
You said Keely Chow?
I did. Oh, the lovely Sherry was here. So you got to go all the way back.
And Janet, Interplanet Janet, the Galaxy Girl.
I did mention her.
Another planet.
Okay, good.
Damn it. Janet, I love you. I'm sure she's long gone, but still. Just a shout out. Okay, almost there, folks. Promise. And here we go. All right, so that is officially everybody. Yeah, okay. All right, so everybody, thank you so much again. Please have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful, happy Memorial Day. A very important, truly, just a wonderful holiday when we celebrate the people that give us the freedom that we have. So never lose sight of that. All right, everybody. Thank you all and have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. A wonderful weekend. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Yep.